Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents The Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560, toll free for Dade and Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisition, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The media is sick and needs help badly.
That's all for Neil today. The Marlins have to play. I'm sure Neil doesn't mind going home.
Oh my God.
Now 2 or 3 sport holes can hear a team that blows. As the rest of us with lives turn off the radio. It's Marlins baseball. It's boring and it's Marlins baseball. It's such a goddamn pity. Designed for those who don't like to think and get excited from recalking the sink. It's Marlins baseball. Boy, no one gives a Forget the entertainment. The Marlins want their payment. Contractual agreements must be met. Despite the rating dip, they have to pay the bid. And hope they find an audience whose brains are dead. It's Marlins baseball. It's time to make a stand with Marlins baseball. I'd rather hear Jim Manning exciting as the sound of drying paint. Alright, designed for those with trouble getting laid. It's Marlins baseball. Oh, for lifeless asshole schmucks.
There's one spot open in the rotation. Pitch fronted at and missed.
Marlins baseball. No one gives a
Pitch bunted. Little trickler up the third baseline. A very good one. Picked up by the third baseman. Smith sinks it on the first. He took
it's Strickland. 10:03 at 560 WQAM. I was just telling George we were sitting in here breathlessly listening to the last 2 minutes of the worst team. I mean, breathlessly with our mouths agape going. And I said, only in this town would there be this ongoing discussion. Oh, my God, the Orioles are playing a game in Cuba. And they're picketing outside the stadium up there where the Orioles be playing.
I'm not going to their games anymore.
That's right. I'm not going to go to any more goddamn Oriole games, okay? I'm so pissed off and fired up, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And then that one guy that calls in, revolutions aren't started by one solitary thing, but this could be a seed. Yeah, you got a seed, all right, pal. You know where your seed is? You better pick it out. Be amazed what you might find in there. What an imbecilic conversation going on here. And, of course, most of the callers, you'll notice, they got one thing in common. Exactly. They all sound like that. Get a life already, okay? I mean, I realize that you're enjoying having all your relatives over there starving to death and having no medical care and living like 20th world peasants. That's wonderful, just to prove a point. Because, if we keep doing that, Fidel will go away, won't he? No, well. It's just ridiculous. On the face of it, it's ludicrous. They're picketing because, everything has to be done in this community according to a certain way because, like the paper said yesterday, these people have power, everybody else are insignificant, and most of their power, unfortunately, is wasted with crap like this about somebody playing a ball game down there. See, what you don't understand is that the trick is the Orioles didn't want to let this out of the bag, but the secret is they're going to be giving balloons out, like they give out little things for the kids and all the people that come to the games, and the balloons are really going to be little tiny blowable rubber rafts. That's right, and all the people who get the balloons at the games, they'll blow them up, they'll hop on the rubber raft in the middle of the night when Fidel is sleeping, and bada bing, they'll all be right here.
Boy!
Just what we need. So there you go. What are you bitching about? There's a method in their madness. But I guess because everything else is so goddamn boring, let's make a big simus about this. As usual in South Florida. Let's make a big to-do about it, okay?
All right.
Yeah. Speaking of making a big to-do, wow. Oh, before I get to the Joe DiMaggio business for the next 20 hours, we got a short show today, by the way. We got Marlins baseball, 12:50, Dodgers and the Marlins up in Vieira with Boog, Joe, and Dave. Here's today's insipid, idiotic, ridiculous, ludicrous, unacceptable letter to the editor in the Miami Herald. Every day there's at least one. I think they're doing it just to make me happy. This one says, in fact, Joe Costello would be happy to see this. It says, feature Formula One. While the Herald covers most events worldwide, You provide too little coverage of the Formula One World Championship. The international draw of Formula One should warrant coverage commensurate with the composition of the Herald's readership, signed Bill Daniels in Weston. Bill Daniels, I hate to break the news to you, but, we're not interested in Formula One. Nobody with a brain is. But number two, even if we were, the fact is that the Herald assumes that most of their people that love their newspaper no speak in English. They're not pandering to people who speak English, and certainly the people who don't speak English are not interested in Formula One. So there you go. You lose, Bill. What a letter. A letter to the editor that even the Geneva Daily Record, or whatever their newspaper is, would not publish. So anyway, being the one that always brings reality back to earth because the media is out of control, just like with the Diana business a year and a half ago, just like with all that crap, where the media decides what we're supposed to be all concerned about, now they're doing the same thing with Joe DiMaggio. And I hate to break, and I mean, you talk about front page of the Sun Sentinel, front page of the Herald, 50 billion words written. They even dug Tom Brokaw out of bed early this morning, and Bob Costas, they got him out of mothballs to bring them on there. Pa, 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 pa. And of course, you do understand, and I know that Hank would agree with me on this, there's nothing worse than these sports people love to name drop. There's nothing worse than a frickin' name dropper.
That was funny.
Exactly. So Costas is not, I didn't know him well, but I knew him. He once probably went up an elevator in a hotel with him. He knew him. And that's exactly the point. And I love the article in there about Paul Simon and the writing Mrs. Robinson, the song. And the reason that he put in fact, Mickey Mantle was on some show there, and in between with Paul Simon, and during commercial break, he turned to Paul Simon and said, how come you put Joe's name in there and not mine? He said, well, it didn't, your name didn't fit. Where have you gone, Mickey Mantle? It wasn't the right number of syllables. He was going to put in, where have you gone, Mrs. Roosevelt? And then he decided, where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Because it fit in there. Because he was from the previous generation that he was talking about. Not for any particular reason. In fact, when they came right down to it, they said to Paul Simon, well, why did you really put his name in there? He said,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Just fit in. And, he did great work with the Children's Hospital there in Hollywood. He cared about kids. That's great. That's a legacy that'll live on forever. That's fine. That's marvelous. But to the last 2 or 3 generations of us, including myself, since he retired in 1951, he was irrelevant. Oh, you can't say that. Let me say it again. Joe DiMaggio was irrelevant. Like yesterday when I took our make-believe poll about Stanley Kubrick or Joe DiMaggio with no contest. Because Stanley Kubrick's movies, most of us have seen. In addition to which, like with movies, you go and you watch them again if you like them, like Clockwork Orange. I bet you a lot of people are going out and renting or buying the movie, the video, now that Kubrick died, and they're going to watch it again. You can't watch Joe DiMaggio's games anymore. Because, first of all, basically television was almost non-existent. It was very, there was just a little tiny bit of television when he was still playing baseball. And most people up in 1951 didn't have television sets, even though television existed. So most of us never saw Joe DiMaggio play a baseball game. We did see the Mr. Coffee spots, which were, that's what they were. Oh, yeah. And we did see the film footage of him with the faggots hanging from his lips, smoking all the cigars. And when we come back, I got to talk about that for a minute, too, because, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Growing up, my hero in baseball was Mickey Mantle. But Mickey had a little problem there with Billy Martin and Whitey Ford. They used to like to go out and have a few pops and a few more, and he had a little liver problem, okay? And when Mickey Mantle had the liver transplant, you remember all the big simus about that. And, he got his name put ahead of everybody on the list, and this is a disgrace. And we focused in, and he even did PSAs, remember, about drinking and about ruining your liver and about how it's good with bacon and onions, and they have good liver at the deli then, and Joe DiMaggio will be sitting in the back eating it, stuff like that. But with Joe DiMaggio getting that spot on his lung, that cancer, and the guy made it to 84. It's a miracle. He was a chain smoker. And in a society today that's screaming and yelling about the dangers and the evils of cigarette smoking. How many PSAs? Remember Hamilton Berger from Perry Mason? That's old. Whatever the hell that guy's name was, the actor. And all these other guys, I want to be here to tell you that smoking's not a very good idea. That stuff. Has there one word been written about that in the last 2 days?
No.
No, of course not. Because he's the Teflon icon. Yeah.
CBS is sick and needs help badly.
New from the National Scientific Research Institute, comes a product guaranteed to revolutionize the healthcare industry. The new and improved I Can't Believe It's Not an Enema. And now, from the President's Council on Health, actor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, this product will clean your pooper like nobody's business. Excuse me, sir. May I demonstrate?
Who, me? Well, I really don't...
Shut up and bend over. Stop being a little girl.
Whoa, hey, get that... Hey. Oh, that feels great. What an enema.
It's not an enema. It's not an enema at all. It's new. I can't believe it's not an enema.
That's right. The brand new I Can't Believe It's Not an Enema. Now with cutting-edge leak-proof technology.
No mas, no fuss, no duty on your shoes.
Get yours today.
10:15 at 560 WQAM. We got the big baseball game at 12:50 today. Dodgers and the Marlins from Vieira. Then we got Bookster. I don't know. Jim Mandich is in. Hank's on the way to Vegas. Jim Mandich from 4 until 6.
Yes!
And then we got Bookster for a half an hour. Why couldn't they have like Mandich do 4 to 6:30? I think he could probably handle it. And then anyway, at 6:30 we got the pregame. Tonight's the big night, baby. Biggest game of the year tonight. Panthers and the Bruins in Boston at the Fleet Enema Center. Biggest game of the year. Now last night, you know, you look at that and you see that performance. Peter Worrell, the big black guy named Peter, scores a goal. Robbie Niedermeyer scores a goal, to which we're and Ray Whitney, thank God. Johan Garpenloff 5-2 over Montreal. A pasting. And you watch a game like that and you say, okay, will the real team please stand up, please? We'll find out tonight. Tonight is D-Day, baby. Anybody talking about that?
No.
Of course not. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Mobile in Miami.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I was just listening to the station to listen to the scores for yesterday's sports games. I've never called before, but I heard something on the show today that actually made me think that the U.S. people were starting to grow up.
And what is that?
That was about that the Baltimore Orioles playing in Cuba. I said, great, you know, finally people here are starting to grow up.
No, they're not.
That's when the calls came in.
Not in this part of the U.S., they're not. This is a big major issue, and of course they won't call me. I brought it up yesterday, and I had no calls about it because they know I'll tell them they're full of crap, and they know they are full of crap. What difference does it make if any team goes there and plays a ball game? Why can't we be like Canada and have realistic relations with Cuba? And the real reason being because it's all politics, because we're pandering to a hard-ass constituency here that's living in a Stone Age. Why do we have to force the people there to live in those conditions, you know, under this illusion that we're going to force Castro out? He's not going anywhere.
He's been here for almost 40 years. I mean, this is not going to change anything.
Right, that's right.
What I was saying is, I have to admit, I'm not an American. I'm Dutch.
Right.
But I was listening to the. Oh, thank you. I was listening to the people make comments, and they were saying that this is bad for the U.S. and this makes the U.S. a laughing stock of the world. I have information from most Americans and Cubans, everyone else.
Yes.
What the U.S. has been doing these last 40 years, that made them the laughing stock of the world.
Right.
Now, actually, we respect the government or whatever, the Baltimore Orioles, for taking this step. People complaining now only makes them look worse.
Right.
Pathetic hypocrites.
And you know something? You wouldn't hear it anywhere else in America, only here in South Florida.
Exactly. What's the point? What's the difference? It's a baseball game.
Well, you're right. This country doesn't want to grow up, and that's why we're in the Stone Age. That's why we just went through 13 months of Penisgate here about the president getting oral sex, because it's we're in in La La Land.
Where else do you see that but here?
Right.
It's just ridiculous.
Well,
but anyway.
Danke Bell.
I can't understand it.
Danke Bell.
Bye-bye.
Okay, our Dutchmen, there you go. Those people know what life is all about. I told you that. Those people are like 5,000 years ahead of us. But hey, someday. 2 open lines in Day 2 in Broward. Come on, let's hear it from all you hysterical Julios out there. Let's stop the Orioles. Let's go out there and picket the goddamn stadium. To hell with the Orioles. 5670560 and pound 560 on the mobile one line. You spineless jellyfish. You people living in a goddamn turd world. You turd world people. You. It's idiotic. But anyway, getting back to the thing with Joe DiMaggio. Did he do a PSA before he died? I mean, we know he's been dying for months now. Did he do a PSA going on there saying since he cared so much about kids? This is what I don't understand. He would have been the perfect guy to do it. Since we're supposedly so concerned about cigarettes and how they give you cancer, lung cancer, and how they kill you. Did he go out there and do a PSA saying, hey, guess what? I lost a lung. I'm dying over here because I smoked all those cigarettes. You kids out there, don't get started. It's a nasty habit. It'll kill you. Did he do that?
No.
No. But he's the Teflon icon. And this word icon, whoever the media decides was an icon is an icon. And like I've tried to tell you the last 2 days, I realize I'm the one lonely voice. And I'm not trying to pee on anybody's parade. I'm just trying to tell you the way it actually is. Most people today don't give a crap about Joe DiMaggio because he isn't relevant to us in any way, shape, or form. He was a great baseball player, period. That's it. And he was 84 years old, and he's been dying for months. But, of course, they had all this material built up for weeks and months, so they had to spew it out. I mean, why waste the effort, Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking up a collection. I'm going to rent the Sea Escape boat, maybe a couple of them, and I'm going to put all the Cubans that complain about the U.S. government.
Yes.
Put them on it, including Ross Layton and
Ileana Gross-Layton, and yes,
right,
Rosanna
and
Day.
the other guy, and every one of those picketers that complain about the United States. If they don't like it, get on the boat.
All right. Great.
All right. So
I say send them to Haiti would be good. Let them sow some baseballs.
Exactly.
And just make sure Fidel don't get a hold of them. Okay, thank you. In fact, there you go. I'd leave it to Neil to come up with a solution. What a genius I am. Thank you.
Neil, God.
We can send a whole bunch of Cubans to Haiti. They can sow the baseballs that go to Cuba because, Fidel's a big baseball fan. They got that Cuban national team. And then they can put, like La Bamba inside the baseball. Huh? Of course, probably Fidel won't be the guy that, gets hit by that baseball, but nevertheless, it's worth a shot, Oh, hey, it's better than poisoning a cigar. It's better than that powder on his shoes, whatever the hell we're doing. That didn't work too good. Come on, Fidel, take a powder. Obsessive, just obsessive. I've told you this for years. The Cubans here are as neurotic and obsessed with Cuba as a lot of the old Jews are with Israel. And let me say it again. Just like Joe DiMaggio, I think there's a lot in common there. Cuba, Israel, and Joe DiMaggio, none of the three are relevant to my life in any way, shape, or form. How do you like that? Very, very not so profound statement. Obvious. And most of you who are sitting out there right now, even though you've been brainwashed into believing that some of the above are relevant to your life, they're not in any way. Let's get on with life. Let's live the real life like what's going on here, okay? And if you really cared about the people over there, you wouldn't be putting on this big stink and trying to prevent them from getting food. And then I heard Joe Rose with that great line at the end of the show there. Almost came up with a good line about if things changed there since the Pope was there. No. All that bullcrap, all those lies from the media. Oh, and what's her name there? That Christiana Amanpour from CNN just peeing all over everybody over. Oh, the Pope, the Holy Father. Yeah, doing a religious exercise on TV. Anything changing?
No.
Fidel leaving?
No.
Some religious conversion?
No.
No. Did he bring them anything of substance?
No.
No. Medical supplies?
No.
Food?
No.
Rubber rafts?
No.
Condoms?
No.
Oh, God forbid. Jeez. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Who am I speaking with?
Who are you calling?
The show, Neil.
You're speaking with me.
Oh, hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Good morning. I just wanted to say buenos días, caballero. I'm a Cuban American, and I just wanted to say that 5 years from now, I've come to the conclusion where I think there's more Cuban communists here in Miami as they are in Cuba.
Yeah.
Cuban
communists?
That are as much as communists as the Cubans in the island.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is because why if they left Cuba because of the dictatorship where they didn't feel free to speak, how come they prevent the Cubans over here or anybody else to say any that might be offensive to them? I mean,
you don't mean communists, you mean fascists.
Oh, fascists.
Fascists,
yes,
like Fulgencio Batista. He was a real well-known fascist, and this is the form of government that these people learned. That's right, they love fascism. In other words, you can have freedom of speech as long as you agree with them, but as soon as you say something different, bada bing, bada boom,
Oh, you're 100% right.
Right.
And God bless you for at least, you remind me of Mayor Koch. I lived in New York a lot of years. And
That's right.
You remind me of Koch.
I'm a little more macho than Eddie Koch, but...
Okay, Koch, but you are the voice of reason.
All right.
Thank you very much and have a nice day.
And hasta que mil vidas. Okay. We have an open... See, even he likes Luis Miguel. Oh, by the way, speaking of music... Oh, Boca Brian sends... the Mystics and Hushabye. Thank you, Boca Brian. I don't care what that old fart in Miami says about you. We love Boca Brian. He sends me a thing. A mini disc with all kinds of good stuff on there. He's got a little star by the Elegance, and he's also got a Frankie Lyman cut on there, which is not, oh boy, wait till you hear that. Talk about black bubblegum. I thought bubblegum was supposed to be pink. Here's a mobile in Hialeah Gardens. Hello.
Hey, Neil, good morning, man.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm a 35-year-old Cuban, and I am sick and goddamn tired already of all these militant Cubans, including my family, okay?
Yeah.
That want to kill Castro through the radio shows at Radio Manti. Every time you go to my mom's house, it's Radio Mambi, and they're going to go here and go, you know what?
Yeah.
It's been 40 goddamn years.
Right.
You know, you don't like it here, go back to Cuba already, you guys. Jesus Christ. You really want to do something to Castro? Go the hell back to Cuba, load up a boat with damn machine guns or whatever the hell you guys do. All you Alpha 66 and all you fanatics out there. Jesus Christ, get a life, or if you're going to do it, do something already. It's been 41 years already.
All right. Well said, pal. What did he say? Did he say the F word in the middle? I think he did. You got a little more. Well, he said, okay, we have an open line at Dade 1 in Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. This is just the warm-up show for the Marlin game today. That's why we got the big Marlin-Dodger game. Any interest in that?
No.
12:50 today? Yeah, we're sick and tired. I'm speaking for the overwhelming majority of the people in this community, ladies and gentlemen. We are sick and tired of all this incessant, it never ends, hysteria over nothing. If you want to exert some effort, go do something positive. Go help some old lonely people in the old folks' home. Go like DiMaggio did into the hospital and spend some time with dying kids. Do something positive in your life instead of expending all this energy hocking a Chinik about this same old tired bullcrap. He's there. It's like dogs baying at the moon, okay? You can go out there and howl at the frickin' moon up there in the sky until the cows come home, and the moon ain't going away. So you can keep screaming and yelling and howling and carrying on with the same old, tired, worn out, like this guy just said. And you know something? You might as well go fart in a windstorm. Oh, I think somebody already did. 27 after 10. I say, let's hear it for the Orioles, okay? Let's hear it for them having little cojones to go up over there and maybe, do something for pubic relations. Maybe they'll find somebody over there who can play.
Media is sick and needs help badly.
Attention football fans. In the past, you've had the opportunity to show off your team spirit with Team Logo credit cards, Team Logo jewelry, and even Team Logo dinnerware. Well, you've got all that, and now you want to show that you're the ultimate football fan. So, for the rest of this NFL season, official NFL tattoo artists will be touring the country, looking for a few brave souls to have their favorite NFL team logo tattooed on their ass. Show it off in the locker room.
Wow, what a fan!
Or at work.
Pull up your pants, football freak.
Or for the hardcore NFL couples, your girlfriend can have your favorite team rival tattooed on her ass. That way, before the big game each year, you can do more than just say them. You can actually do it.
Rectum.
NFL team logos. Are you a real fan? Then fill that blank fanny.
10:32 at 560 WQAM. We have an open line in Dade 2 at Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I can't believe this morons, so-called faggot Cubans, they're talking about Baltimore going to Cuba to play in Cuba. What are they going to get accomplished by doing that? Is there freedom in Cuba? No.
Yeah.
Can we do something about it? No. Do they let us do anything about it? No.
Do they let you do anything about what?
About freeing our country.
Do they let you do anything? Is somebody stopping you from getting on your banana boat and going over there and doing something?
Yes, they do, Emil.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. The Coast Guard stop us every time we try to go over there.
The Coast Guard only, they get a very small number. You got to be creative. First, you got to go out. First, you got to go out in the Everglades, shoot yourself in the foot. Right.
We don't want this blue-eyed Americans to go there. We want to do it ourselves, but they don't let us.
Well, the Orioles aren't going there to fight a war. They're going there to play a baseball game, sir.
And what are they going to get accomplished?
What are they going to get accomplished?
Are they going to free Cuba? Is Castro going to open?
Sir, let me say it again. They're not. Well, what did the Pope accomplish?
Not a damn thing.
And were you speaking out against that when I was on the air here talking about the fact he was going to accomplish nothing? Did you call me and tell me it was a waste of time?
No, I didn't.
And did anybody else?
Yes, I did.
No, they did not.
Did they not?
No, they did not.
Well, I'm
because
telling you now.
they're very well brainwashed Catholics, and they don't dare to criticize the Pope. But if the Orioles are going to go over there to play a ball game, right away are they going to free Cuba? You see, that's the problem. You had a chance to get them out 40 years ago, and you blew it. Okay, everybody turned tail and they ran. They ran.
Kennedy blew it, you know it. Kennedy blew it.
Forget about Kennedy. The people over there had a chance to overthrow Castro. They didn't do it. Okay, they all ran. The people who were the haves, they all got the hell out, and they left the have-nots behind to live like paupers.
If Kennedy would have done what he was supposed to have done a long time ago.
Okay, to hell with Kennedy. Okay, thank you. There you go. There's right there. That's what you got. That's what this town's all about. To hell with Kennedy. He blew it. One call left on the board. Okay, we can wrap this up early. Let's crank that Marlins baseball game up real soon. 2 open lines in Broward, all a day, 5670560, pound 560. See, if you come on here and you tell them what they want to hear, then they'll talk to you. But when you tell them the truth, which is not what they want to hear, then all of a sudden they can't deal with it. Are they going to? How many times did I tell this guy they're going there to play a ball game? They're going there to play a baseball game. They're not going there to fight a war. They're not going to go there to overturn the government. Baseball teams, I hate to break the news to you, they don't go to China, they don't go to Europe, they don't go to the North Pole, they don't go to other countries to fight wars. They're not going there with rifles, they're going there with baseball bats, which don't work too well against machine guns last time I checked. God. Hysterical. And let me say it again, the Pope went there, didn't do a goddamn thing except a bunch of empty rhetoric, and the media covered it like it was the second goddamn coming, okay? Like this was going to be the moment of truth, and but religious freedom, and yeah, right. All just a big goddamn hype job. That's how many times have I told you that? The whole world is nothing but a hype job, just like this Joe DiMaggio business. Hollywood, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was reading in the paper this morning that Clinton was appropriating about $900 million to help the people out in Central America where Mitch devastated those countries.
Yeah.
I'd like to see, that's predominantly Catholic down there. I'd like to find out how much.
Okay, whatever you said. I thought there was a word in there. The Catholic charities are doing a lot to help the people down there, but as far as coming from the Vatican, no, they're too busy with all that art and pornography they got over there. They can't afford to sell that. We have an open line in Broward, 5670560. But, again, the Pope comes to Cuba here a few months ago, doesn't leave a dime. Does he bring medication? Does he bring anything for people who are living in absolute poverty and desperation? Does he bring anything except a bunch of empty words? No. And I got news for you. When the Orioles leave after that game on the 28th of March, which they will play, I'm sure of that, is anything going to change? No. Is anything supposed to change?
No.
So let's blame Kennedy. Let's dig up his body without the brain in it. Let's dig up JFK and just hang him up in the middle of Domino Park. And you can all, you can beat the crap out of it, okay? Make you feel better about it. Yeah. Make you feel better. We'll put Bobby next to him, too. We'll hang them side by side, just like Mussolini and his wife. Yeah, they hung them side by side. And the Italians, bada bing, bada boom, they're dead. They're hanging by a rope, just like Roberto Calvi. Oh, I don't want to go to that Vatican banking scandal.
Only $50.
No. You'll never get it back. Now, that's our poll question today. Who would you rather loan money to, okay? The Vatican or Stan Major? And who have you got a better chance of getting it back from? Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
What do you think will happen when Castro actually does die? Anything change?
No. Of course not. His brother's going to take over, and he's the same piece of crap that he is.
Exactly.
So what are we wasting our time for? In addition to which, why do these people want it back? For what?
Are they going to go back? No.
No. Do they care about the people who are there now? Obviously not. So what? It's just something, when you've got hot blood, when you got this hot Latin blood, you got to get all whipped up about something. I mean, you can't have cockfights 24 hours a day, and bullfighting is illegal in this country. So we got to have some outlet for all this, those hysteria. And so the outlet has been for the last 40 years, with Fidel, comunista. That's been it. It's a tired, old, stuck record. And it's one thing for the old Radio Mambi crowd, but to hear the young people like calling this morning at the end there of the worst team, that's sad. When are you going to stop being brainwashed? When are you going to think for yourself? Cuba, it's just like I tell you about Sri Lanka, which used to be Ceylon. Look on the world map. Right under India, in fact, look at Sri Lanka and scream at it. You turd. Because that's what it is. And it's the same with Cuba. Cuba is a little turd that fell out of Florida. Even Ponce de Leon knew that. Right? So it's a turd. I mean, Puerto Rico, well, Ricky Martin, even he knows what that's all about. And by the way, how come Ricky Martin speaks perfect English when he's accepting the Grammy, and when he's doing that Puerto Rican tourist spot, he's doing with the heavy acento? What is that all about? Huh? Doesn't he understand that we're not all from the Bronx? Doesn't he get it?
India is sick and needs help badly.
The pub smokes dope.
Oh.
The pub smokes dope. God gave him the grand.
Yes.
The pub smokes dope. He likes to smoke it man. The pub smokes dope. He's a groovy head. The pub smokes dope. The pub smokes dope. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, got it high on the ceiling, taking higher stacks. Folks in room get stoned on grass, Jesus freaks out back.
Okay.
Jesus Christ is super hippie, never shut up chunk. Folks in room get stoned on low, priests in church get drunk. The pulse smokes dope, God give him the grass. The pulse smokes dope, he likes his fucking ass. The pulse smokes dope, he's a groovy head there. The pulse smokes dope, the pulse smokes dope. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Now taking Joe went up the hill to fix a pail of water. Jill forgot to take a pill, now she's got it torture. Taking pills is not a joke for a groovy pope. Blood control can be a took of marijuana smoke. The Pope smokes dope, God gave him the grass. The Pope smokes dope, he likes his fucking ass. The Pope smokes dope, he's a groovy helper. The Pope smokes dope, the Pope smokes dope. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, the Pope is getting higher. 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 The Pope smokes dope. God gave him the grass. The Pope smokes dope. He likes his fucking ass. The Pope smokes dope. He's a groovy hater. The Pope smokes dope. The Pope smokes dope. The Pope smokes dope. The Pope smokes dope.
When Nixon opened relations with China, it was the same kind of crap. I mean, if he did anything good, that was the one thing that he did. Oh, my God, comunista, you know. Now they're buying up a whole bunch of American crap, and we're buying all their cheap garbage. But at any rate, so how come when the Pope was there, this big, I love the way you, George said, the vicar of Christ on earth. Just the way you said that, I got so emotional. My appendix started twitching again when you said that. How come when he was there, he doesn't at least do a goddamn exorcism? On Fidel, huh? There you go.
The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah.
The power of Christ compels you.
Nothing. Just a handshake and a kiss, and that was it. Look at this, Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How's it going today?
Great.
I talked to you a couple of years ago before the Red Wings won the Stanley Cup.
Yes, welcome to a foreign country, by the way.
Yeah, that's okay.
Red Wings are staggering these days.
Hey, you know...
just like my Maple Leafs, who got screwed in overtime last night by the referee, yes?
We're getting killed by snow right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I wish I was where you are.
Sunny and about 78 here right now, I would say.
Yeah, well, maybe in July.
Of course, it still blows, but at least we got nice weather.
That's right. Hey, I was wondering if I could pick up a couple of your CDs or tapes or whatever you got produced now. My kids and I haven't heard your show in a long time. I just downloaded the player to listen to the radio show on the Internet.
Right.
And so we're kind of addicted again here in Michigan, and they're in schools all day, so
right.
I can't let them listen.
Well, if you check our website, if you check neilrogers.com,
yeah,
then you can order it right from there.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Well, that'll work.
And be sure to say hi, my friend Dick in Dick Purton.
Now, you know what? His daughter is on the morning TV show, the TV news every morning. Joanne Purton.
Really?
Not bad looking.
How do you like that?
Yeah. You know, so he procreated. What's that mean?
He's got 5 daughters.
Does
He does,
really?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Next time he calls, I'm going to have to talk to him about that.
Yeah. You see, you know more than I do about him.
Yes, I do. He's great.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He loves me. Well, listen, have a great time, pal.
Hey, you too. I'll see you.
All right. Go Leafs, go. Oh, he was a Red Wing fan? Okay, we have 2 open lines in Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. I challenge anybody out there my age or younger, to call in and tell me that Joe DiMaggio was in any way relevant to our lives. And I'm not trying to be a hard ass. I mean, the guy died. You're not happy to see anybody die, although he was 84. He did smoke too many cigarettes. But this should be a message to all you people out there. It should be a tremendous lesson, the way the media manipulates public opinion. They don't just report the news. They decide what is news, how important it is, and how we're supposed to react to it. That's the worst part of the whole deal. Like the Diana business. I mean, Diana was part of British pop culture, and the British are a bunch of silly twits to begin with. We all know that. But the media decided that Princess Diana, this very princess, she was the most important goddamn woman in the world. Mother Teresa, that old wrinkled up bag, she died like a couple of days later. She got like maybe 2 awards at the bottom of the page somewhere because she was a wrinkled up old bag. But she was supposed to be running around the world. Of course, maybe if she wouldn't have hocked so much that old Catholic line, maybe we might have respected her more. But nevertheless, she at least dedicated her life to going around the world and doing what she believed in, even though it may have been from the Stone Age. But nevertheless, she did her best. Here was a fairy princess who was, by the way, born into a lot of money and married into an enormous amount of money and, and then, had her public relations people sending her around, getting involved in things that she knew nothing about, like landmines, stuff like that. Oh, my God, she was nothing is what she was. She was a bimbo. But here we had, this whole thing staged, for days on end. And Elton John is still hocking a goodbye, the whole thing. Did I give her crap?
No.
Of course not. And then, of course, then her brother gets up there and he, with his big speech about the paparazzi, and he's ripping the crap out of her. Then Earl Spencer, isn't that his name? And we find out that he's a philanderer and a money grabber, and he's selling tickets to her goddamn museum up there by where her body is buried. They're all scum, okay? And with all due respect to my British friends out there, thank God you're here, because as many problems as we got here, the British are scum. Pond scum. Tony Blair said that in Parliament the other day. And they all went, here, 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 yeah. They don't know what they're talking about. They just like making sounds, guttural sounds, the British. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Look, I would just like to clear 2 things. Number one, us Cubans, we love this country because there's a misconception that we don't like it here. And no, we love it here, and we think this country's great. And
so let's get with it, okay? Let's get with the program.
But the thing now, the second thing I would like to ask you is
because baseball.
That's the American fucking way.
That's right. Baseball's where it's at. That's like apple pie and Chevrolet and Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle.
Would you have liked the Baltimore Orioles to go to Germany during Hitler's age and go?
Well, first of all, we were at war with Hitler. Okay, are we fighting a war with Castro? Are we at war with Cuba?
No, but forget about the war.
Since they took the missiles out, does Cuba jeopardize our security?
Yes,
sir?
They do. But
how do they do that?
What do you mean? Castro himself has said that the United States is his enemy. He hates this
country. Does Castro represent a threat to our security?
Well, I don't know that because I don't have that kind of information.
Well, go find out. Call me back when you know something other than just emotional brainwashing. Call me back.
He's building that crappy old nuclear power plant.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There you go. And by the way, the Olympics am I dreaming? Didn't they hold the Olympics in 1936 in Munich? Or am I just dreaming? Or was it in Berlin? Munich was the one where they killed all the Israelis. It was in Berlin, wasn't it, 1936? And wasn't Hitler there? With his smiling, beaming face?
Yes.
Yeah, and Jesse Owens, he was running there, and they weren't too crazy about that, right?
Yes.
That was in Germany. Right in the middle of goddamn while he was taking over Czechoslovakia and taking over all of Europe. Sir, so what you don't understand, my naive young friend, is this, that when it comes to world politics, just like all the business in Kosovo and the business in Uganda where they were butchering people by the thousands and then killed the 8 tourists over there, a few days ago, there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk. But when it comes right down, when push comes to shove, until we actually start getting threatened, all depending on who the we is, nobody does a goddamn thing. If Hitler wouldn't have invaded England, if he wouldn't have been bombing England, if he wouldn't have invaded Russia, if he wasn't so goddamn greedy, the rest of the world would have stood by and he could have done whatever the hell he wanted to do. When he invaded Czechoslovakia, Neville Chamberlain said, he never stole a freight train. He's not such a bad guy. It won't be so bad. So don't be so goddamn naive, sir. You sound like Kay in the goddamn Godfather 1. Go watch that movie, sir. Who's being naive now, Julio? Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
The Cubans, if they want to really get rid of Castro,
yeah,
get all the Cubans in Miami, take them down to the closest part of land to Cuba.
Yeah.
Prevailing wind would have to be right there.
Yeah.
Feed them all black beans, rice.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Watermelon,
Chili
chicken.
peppers.
Okay, great. Okay, chili peppers. Okay, we have an open line in Dade, 567-0560. That's only the Schwarzer Cubans he's talking about. He wants to be the leader. 567-0560 and pound 560 on the mobile one line. Well, I mean, if that's the way we're going to solve problems, then why don't we just take all the Schwarzers and put them on a goddamn enormous ship with the prevailing winds going right? Although I guess the ship has an engine, but nevertheless, why bother with that? You know, let fate have a hand in that and send them to Africa, right? I mean, if that's the kind of crap you're going to talk, Christ, take all the old Jews, we'll put them on a leaky old boat and the prevailing winds. You send them to Israel. It's a long way. We got to work our way through that. What do they call that where Gibraltar is? What is that?
The Straits of Gibraltar.
Like I said, the Straits, well, they're not all straight there. I've been there. Through the Straits of Gibraltar, the Mediterranean. Hope that maybe the winds are, we don't want them to wind up like a little off course in Syria, God forbid. We have an open line in Dade, 567-0560, pound 560. I mean, that's the American way right there, baby.
That's the American fucking way.
Yeah, send them all back where they came from. That's what the Indians are all saying. Yeah, you bet. F&A, baby. Send them back where they came from, these barbarians. In fact, that's what they used to say. You want to smoke the peace pipe? No, just go back where you came from. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I agree with basically everything you're saying. Joe DiMaggio, no influence on my life.
Right.
Stanley Kubrick, a big deal. Yeah. As far as the Catholic Church and the Orioles and going to Cuba, you're right. What can I say?
I guarantee you, if the Pope was leading the entourage again, if he was making a comeback, although he ain't feeling so great, if he was there with the Orioles at the same time, they'd all be going, El Papa, smoking a dopa, yeah, hallelujah, they'll be doing that crap.
The Bishop of Baltimore is actually the primate of the U.S. That was the first bishopric in the U.S.
How come this guy that called before that wants to know why the Orioles were just playing a baseball game aren't going to overthrow the government? How come he didn't ask that of the Catholic Church when the Pope was there? How come they didn't overthrow the goddamn government?
You read some of the pronouncements from the Pope, you kind of get the idea. You ever read Humanae Vitae, the encyclical?
Yes. Oh, yes.
So, the other thing is, I'm going to do my part.
Humanae Vitae, yes.
I'm going to do my part. There's a Catholic church up in Tamarack called St. Malachi.
Yeah.
They've got this big sign with a fetus.
Malachi sounds Jewish. Yeah.
So I was at the IRS yesterday, right? I found out who to write to. We're going to see about their tax-exempt status, all right?
Great. Nice going, sir.
All right. Take it easy, Neil.
Stick it to him, pal.
I'm going to try.
All right.
Bye.
Oh, wow. This is a show of friendship and brotherhood today. Oh! In other words, everybody go back where you came from. Boy, 10:57 at 560 WQAM. Watch those prevailing winds.
Esa es la cingada manera cubana.
Well, I hope I don't speak brazen, and I hope that you won't mind that I bought you a brand new razor for the bush between your thighs. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but if you care at all about mine, then just try to trim a little off the side. Trim your pubic hair a little in the middle and the side. Not too small like your hips or mustache, more like a triangle for a pie. I'd appreciate it, you would shade it so I can raise it. I don't want to wear a toupee when I'm down between your legs, and it's smelling kinda gamey. You could use a wax or shave. I'm not treading through the jungle, that forest of Brillo that you've got, 'cause I feel like I'm having sex with ZZ Top. Trim your pubic hair a little in the middle and the side. Not too small like a Hitler mustache, more like a triangle for pop. Every time we do it, after I chew it, I need a toothpick.
It's 11:03 at 560 WQAM. We got Broward lines open, about 200 of them, 567-0560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We got Marlins baseball. Any interest?
No.
Whatsoever?
No.
At 12:50 today, the Dodgers and the Marlins at Vieira. We got the Panthers and Bruins, biggest game of the year tonight, 7 o'clock from Fleet Intima Center in Boston. Here's a mobile in Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Well, I agree with you most of the times. Actually, almost every time.
But
the things that you say.
But
there's always a but. It's funny when you talk the way you talk about what's going on in Cuba.
Yes.
But you haven't experienced it.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Yes, and?
Yes, I have. I came here when I was 10. Okay, and basically it was either leave or die because there's no food. There's nothing going on over there that's profitable or for your well-being. I mean, it's a nightmare over there.
And what's one of the reasons that exists?
Excuse me?
Isn't one of the main reasons that those conditions exist to that degree because of this idiotic American embargo against Cuba?
When I left, there was no embargo against Cuba.
Yeah, but there is now.
There is one now. And
Yeah.
things have gotten, of course, they've gotten worse.
See, I don't understand people who have relatives in a country that's 90 miles away who evidently don't seem to care, who are willing to watch them starve and get no medical supplies and live like paupers in order to make a point. I don't understand that. I don't get it.
The reason why you don't, it's basically the same thing that happened with the Jews.
With the Jews?
Yeah, it's the same thing that happened. Your Holocaust, what the Jews' Holocaust, is our Holocaust with Fidel, basically. You can't understand it because like that Holocaust,
so in other
experience.
words, Castro rounded up Cubans, all the dissidents, and he put them on trains and he sent them to concentration camps, and they all went to take a shower. Is that it?
If you want to be literal, of course, that's not what happened.
So why would you make? Why do Cubans? I was just telling George before during the break. Cubans always like to make that comparison. It's part of this comparative misery thing. We
because
suffered
it's the only way that we
did.
can compare it to. What would you like it to compare it to? How can we compare it to?
Don't compare it to anything. Just describe what it really is. You don't have to compare it to anything.
Well,
we're not in some kind of a contest to see who's been most persecuted.
Well, it's not a contest. It's definitely not a contest. Who wants to win? I'm a contest about misery.
Yeah.
It's not a contest.
But I mean, you brought up the Holocaust, okay? And I just got through saying a little while ago that people in this country who are obsessed with Israel are crazy people, okay?
Exactly. I agree with you 100%.
So why should we be obsessed with Cuba? You're living here.
I'm not. See, that's the thing. It's not that I'm obsessed with Cuba. I couldn't care less about
If the Orioles go there and play a ball game, which they will, and if the Cuban national team goes to Camden Yards and plays an exhibition game, which they will, nothing is going to change.
It's going to make no difference.
So what's the point? What's all the verbiage about? What's all the hysteria?
The point is that when you speak, when you say things like, you live 90 miles away and you don't care about your relatives, that's not necessarily true. Okay? There's certain things that you just can't do. As much as you want to be there, as much as you want to help them,
why not?
Take one guy with a gun and go over there? It's not going to happen.
How about going over there and bringing them some cash, bringing them, whatever you want to bring them? How about going over there?
You can't.
Why
not? Embargo.
Well, that's the point, and that's what I just got through asking you. Why do we need the embargo? What's the point, other than to satisfy a bunch of politically psychotic people? What's the point?
Adding ask for it, adding vote for it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like.
Well, don't tell Eliana Gross-Layton that she'll take your ass away on a train.
Oh, that's the way it is.
Right.
The only reason why I brought up the Holocaust, and the only reason why I brought those things up is because the only way that I can basically get you to understand what we're going through as a family, not as Cubans. Forget Cubans. As a family, how would you like your family members to call you and tell you, hey, look, we have nothing to eat.
Yeah.
We can't do this.
Well,
We can't do that. Then you have to go and go through a second country.
How come the Pope, the Catholic Church, didn't bring him something to eat?
Because he's a moron. He's a he's a pawn. He's just a figure. He has no power. He's an idiot. He's a retard. He doesn't.
He has no power. He opens up his mouth. He got an execution canceled right here in this country. A guy that was on death row. He has no power.
It's all
a guy that was a multiple murderer, murdered 3 people in cold blood, who was supposed to be executed. He comes over here and opens up his big mouth, and a guy who's not even a Catholic, who's a Protestant, says, "Oh, okay, whatever you say, Pope."
He's an icon. That's all he is.
He's an icon. You're goddamn okay. Have a great. He's the Teflon icon.
Whatever.
I'll leave it there, Chief. The Pope is a frickin' icon. All right.
Oh!
Excellent job, sir. And we all say, anybody with a brain agrees, F him. F him Zimbalist Jr., the Pope. Silly old man in a goddamn dress. And you know something? A lot of the people just like this guy, and I have no idea whether he's going to go to church, whether he's going to put money in that collection basket, subsidize this corrupt bullcrap. People who really need, we're talking about living and breathing people. You can argue philosophy, you can argue about government, you can argue about all the theoretical horse crap in the world. People who have no food on the table don't care about theory. They want goddamn food to put in their goddamn pupik. That's it. Simple. Nothing complicated.
Nunca eches el papel en el toile porque se tupe.
Tired of the same old flavors of yogurt, cherry, strawberry, banana, peach, blueberry? Well, look out, taste buds. Prepare yourself, palate, for Crudeson's Trout on the Bottom yogurt.
Trout on the bottom, fresh water. Trout on the bottom, oh rainbow. Trout on the bottom, fresh water. Trout on the bottom, oh rainbow.
Crudeson's new Trout on the Bottom yogurt, combining the delicious attributes of yogurt with hearty chunks of rainbow trout. No frills, no gills, just great taste. Crudeson's Trout on the Bottom yogurt, regular and de-eyed.
It's 11:13 at 560 WQAM. So what did Al Goldstein say to all those crazy old Cubans outside Fort Lauderdale Stadium the other day?
You're looking for glory holes.
Something like that. I mean, talk about it. And every single time, whether it's a performer that went over and shook Fidel's hand, whether it's somebody that gave him a peck on a cheek, well, especially if it's a guy. I mean, no matter what it is. Same old tired song and dance. But not the Pope. But the Pope goes over because you're all very well brainwashed, then the cat's got your tongue. I remember when he was here. I remember when the Pope was over there, just before he said, meet me in St. Louis. And I tried to elicit some kind of calls. I tried desperately. I begged. I pleaded like I usually do. I used my tweezers to try to find somebody out there that I could squeeze out of the radio land to open up a mouth and, nope, cat's got their tongue. Because it's Il Papa. And now that he's gone, what did he do? Nothing. Nada. Zippity-doo-dah. Not a thing. Here's a lady in Hialeah. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I thought it was about time for a woman to get in on this, Neil.
All right.
I've never done this before.
But nevertheless.
The caller asked, was Castro a threat to our security?
Yes.
Now, I'm a psychological nurse, and I can tell you, what he is doing is psychological warfare. All those prisoners that are criminals at the Chrome Detention Center, they cannot be sent back to Cuba. He's working it real good, baby, let me tell you. So, you know.
Well, let me ask you something. Is he the one that's controlling what's going on at Chrome? Is he the one that made that law?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Not 100%.
So how's he controlling that?
Oh,
that's right. It's psychological.
It's because that's what... If he is...
Has he got that woodpecker going again? Is that it?
If he is controlling it,
you know, Castro does have a woodpecker.
Yeah, amen.
He does.
Yeah, if he is controlling
Cranks it up and it makes all those high-pitched sounds and drives us crazy.
Look how
do you
much...
think this town got like it is?
You know,
how do you think
I've never
Suarez
called anybody before, Neil, and you keep on talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm 80 years old, please. I'm a retired nurse and a private pilot, so I'm no nut.
A private pilot?
Yes,
well, why don't you fly one of those rescue to the douchebag missions over there?
Oh, I would have loved
to. The rescue.
Oh, well, I've been on a rescue mission when I was 40.
Right. And who did you rescue?
We were out. We belonged to the Civil Air Patrol, my husband and I. We had an airport.
Yeah, but you're supposed to go southeast, not west. You were in the
we went west, honey. We were at Crystal River, Florida. We went west out over the water and found some people for the Coast Guard.
All right.
So, I may write a book about it.
Great.
But, Neil,
better do it fast.
No kidding. Now, let me tell you,
it's
going to cost us money, whoever's doing it, whether it's Castro or some other creep. to keep these guys at Chrome or transfer them to other prisons.
Well, let me ask you this. Why don't we just send them back?
Are you kidding?
Oh.
Get rid of them, honey, if they're criminals.
How about all the people that are being held there who didn't really basically do much of anything that we're just holding there?
Yes, you mean...
Well, like being
oh,
held
now
in
that I'm against.
Oh.
Yes, Neil.
Yeah. But I thought this was the land of the free. I thought that this was justice and...
So that, I want to know...
who are in limbo forever. They're doing the limbo rock.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Checker.
Yeah, because I take care of Cuban children, Christian school.
Yeah.
And, I agree with you.
And by the way, speaking of Christian school, how come the Pope didn't leave us anything when he was over here?
That's what I want to know, honey. I used to be Catholic, and I ain't no more.
Good for you.
Okay. All right, Neil, thanks a lot. I enjoyed it.
And say hi to the Virgin Mary. Have a great day, sweetheart.
Okay, bye-bye.
She's coming over to Rosa's house in 4 days. Oh, look at that. Let's see, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th. This Saturday is the 13th. This Saturday, Shabbos. The Virgin Mary will be at Rosa Lopez's house in Hollywood. Let's hear it for the Virgin Mary.
Oh!
All right. Open line in Dade, 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Sea Ranch Lakes. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I thought Barbara Capitman died.
Yeah, no, she's still alive. She's still cranking them out.
That's not just like her.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
I could tell by the yellow teeth.
This is this is Gator Tom. I'm on my pool service route.
Yeah.
And did you happen to see? Has anyone called about the guiding light yesterday and who represented Annie Dutton?
Oh yeah, Johnny Cochran was on there for about 10 seconds.
Did you believe it?
Yeah, I already saw the previews for that, so I knew it was coming.
And
talk about a media whoremeister, man.
Absolutely. And I understand
he's a legend in his own mind.
Since I'm on the pool route all the time, and I get home late in the afternoon, I usually watch it at 5 o'clock on the small dish.
Yeah.
Did you tell us a few days ago that CBS is going to be canceling the network affiliation on the dish?
Yes.
Oh, no.
They already killed mine. Already got the litter. It's already long gone on the big dish. History. And on the small dish, too.
I'll not be able to see it. Okay. Well, listen, you have a good day, and I agree with everything
what do you mean you won't be able to see? You can't pick up Channel 4?
Well, yeah, but I'm out doing pools.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning pools at that hour.
Why don't you set up your... I know. See, that's the problem with me, too. My VCR is set up off the satellite, and I got to potchkey around and change the whole thing around because of this damn Alan Shacklin at Channel 4, this TV fascist.
That's right. And you expect the other affiliates to follow?
Well, Fox is all right. It's Fox and CBS.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, thanks, Neil.
Okay, have a great day. So if you like cartoons where, cartoon characters fart and swear a lot, you're in big trouble. If you watch them on the dish. We have an open line because that's what Fox is all about. Open line at Broward, 567. And let me tell you, if there's a worse show that's ever been on television, well, there probably are some, but the X-Files, what is that? People like green slime?
It's a brain fork.
Jesus Christ.
I don't give a shit.
Exactly. I just got through playing the Exorcist song. If you want to see green slime, go talk to Linda Blair about it. She knows about her pea soup, huh? In fact, she knows all about doing a good pee. Right there on the floor. You're going to die up there. We have an open line in Broward, 5670560. Now, how about William Friedkin? He's not dead yet, but someday he will be. Now, that'll be controversial because everybody else in Hollywood hates him like poison. He turned out to be a real asshole, I guess. Made some great movies. What were some of his other great movies beside The Exorcist, William Friedkin?
That fax guy will fax you a whole list.
That's why I asked, because I know he would do it. Well, we're getting old and senile. What do we know? Seriously, The Exorcist, and nobody else would touch that, man. I mean, they were like real nervous about it. And guess who got real upset about that?
Not the Catholics.
And guess who got upset when they came out with Godfather 1? You reject Satan? Yes, I reject him. Yeah, right. And in the meantime, while Michael was rejecting Satan, they were bada bing, bada boom, all over your goddamn Ivy League suit. Yeah. Here's Miami Beach. Hello?
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir. Great.
Yeah, I was wanted to bring back something that you were talking about yesterday. I didn't get a chance to call you about the wrestling.
Yes, about all the fags in wrestling, right?
Well, that's not true. I wrestled in high school. I'm not gay.
I believe you.
Oh.
Do we believe him? Yeah, we believe you.
Yeah.
I just took a poll. Everybody say, we believe you. There's always got to be a token straight guy.
No, I guess I'm in.
But why did you, what I don't understand is why do straight guys want to grapple around on the floor and, grab each other?
Well, I don't know. I just like the sport.
But what did you like about it?
The competition. I placed third in the state in 1986.
All right.
You know.
But any of the guys that you wrestled against, I mean, did they? You ever notice that they were grappling in places a little bit too often to, that they were?
Well, it happens, but I didn't think nothing of it. I'm
at
not,
the time.
I didn't, I just went out there to wrestle. I didn't go out there to do anything else.
Right.
After the match, they didn't have a Woody or anything.
No, right. Yeah, but maybe they did.
Well, that's their problem.
So that's why it's always a good idea to pin the other guy, because if you're on top, you can't get into too much trouble.
Wrestling is good exercise, a good sport. You can think what you want, but maybe there are a couple of fags in the sport.
One or two, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to turn pro one day. I'm going to be in the World Wrestling Federation.
Then you'll really find the fags. Okay, pal. Good luck to you. All right. Well, with the wrestlers, they get down with those tights on. Oh man. Now that's got to be. Hey, that's just like the farting contest. Never dawned on me before. I bet you Lord Windesmere would have been great wrestling. Oh man, there he goes again. The other guys would be just swooning, passing out on the mat. Open line and date. See, this last kid, he just can't face the fact that he's out there grabbing a bunch of fags, and they're grabbing his, I don't want to say it on the air, but yeah. That's what you were doing, and of course now these years later, now he's going to have a complex about it the rest of his life. He's going to feel bad. He was doing all kinds of homoerotic stuff that he was doing. He didn't even realize it, right?
All of these things.
Right. That's what I was trying to get at. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. I have something to say that might be controversial to a lot of Cubans here.
Oh, we don't want to do that.
No, well, I'm sorry. I was there. I was 15 years old when Castro came to power, and we had to flee. And I lost money and property in
You had fleas?
If we had, maybe,
yeah.
I don't remember.
I guarantee a lot of the people over there now got fleas.
But the problem
I wouldn't be surprised if Fidel's got fleas in his beard.
Could be, never washes it. But the problem is, I got angry this morning. I've never called the radio station before, and I got angry with one thing.
Yes.
We Cubans, we left Cuba to let Cuba rot in its own whatever.
In its own stink, yeah.
If we had not left, Castro has everything he has because we let him have it. We fled, we turned our back to Cuba
right,
and ran away. Now you have 90% of the Cuban community here is born and raised in the United States. They have no idea how it was there. I hate Castro. Yes, I do. But I admire him in the same breath. Countless American presidents have come and gone. Countless Cold War events, the Warsaw Pact, the Falklands War, the Central American Wars, Afghanistan, Vietnam. Castro is still there. We can talk and talk and talk, but nobody has ever done so. I am ashamed of myself. Look at me, talking on a cellular phone in Miami.
Even the Argentinians, I mean, God bless them, even they had the cojones to invade the Falkland Islands, Las Malvinas,
Exactly.
Didn't work too well, but at least they gave it a shot,
The only people who are to blame for Castro and Cuba is us. Not Kennedy, not the Americans, not anybody.
Right.
We left Cuba to its own problems. We did not turn to help. Now it's too late, and we blame everybody else. It's not fair to anybody.
Right.
Who want to.
Yeah.
And I have been back many times. Cuba is still a very beautiful island, and it has a lot to offer. It is a shame what has happened, and I hope things will change.
The hotels here are the most beautiful. Yeah, that's what Meyer Lansky said.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's true, really. For tourists, Cuba is paradise.
Right.
And I am really sorry about what happened, and I'm sorry to say I don't think things will change anytime soon. But for the Cuban people listening and calling you and comparing our situation with the Holocaust, I am ashamed that people didn't bring that up.
That's astonishing.
How can you compare that? I mean, millions upon millions of Jews and Slavics and everybody died.
And don't forget the gypsies.
And gypsies, yes, and homosexuals and handicapped, and
right.
You name it. And we are here living better than we ever had it in Cuba. And we compare this to the Holocaust?
Yeah, I'd say get with the program. I said it's about time. 40 years later, let's. He said mierda happens is what he said. That's what he said, only he didn't say, yeah. He said with an SH. Okay, well said, amigo. By the way, trace his number. We have an open line in Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We got Marlins baseball coming up. Any interest at all?
No.
Okay. I'm just checking.
Agárrala bien, Junior.
Cuba.
Boy!
We just can't use ya. You've been around way too long. Castro, you ugly bastard.
Yes.
Too long you've lasted. The Bay of Pigs should have worked. Fidel, you make me sick. Get out of Cuba quick. You are so goddamn rich, you amigo, son of a bitch. Baseball, we know you like. Are you behind the strike? Where were you in '63? Did you kill Kennedy?
Yes.
Muerte!
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 Muerte! Muerte! Muerte! Muerte! Get out now and free your nation. Are you into masturbation?
Yes.
Fidel will lift the embargo. Cuba will become another Key Largo. USA! Returning all the rafts and boats away. Lucy! Castro, get out of Cuba. We just can't use ya. You've been around way too long. Castro, you ugly bastard. Too long you lasted. The Bay of Pigs should have worked. Hey, puppy! Fidel, you make me sick. Get out of Cuba quick. You are so goddamn rich, you amigo son of a bitch. Baseball, we know you like. Are you behind the strike? Where were you in '63? Did you kill John Kennedy?
Yes.
Muerte! 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 Get out now and free your nation. Are you into masturbation?
Yes.
There will lift the embargo. Cuba will become another Key Largo. USA! USA! We're turning all the rafts and boats away. Lucy! Lucy!
Adios, your ghost. It's 11:34, 26 till noon at 560 WQAM. In fact, there's nobody in the world, nobody anywhere who wishes that the old bearded bastard would croak more than a lot of us Anglos here in this town, so we could get on with life and worry about something important. Besides, the Orioles are going to play some stupid baseball game in Cuba on March 28th. Jesus Christ. This should be the worst thing we got to worry about? Man, what a life that would be. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil?
Yes, I am.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Just about this guy that I was talking about, he was so worried about his family in Cuba. All you have to do is send him $100 a month, and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
The Cubans send at least $600 million a year to Cuba. And they're doing better than the tourism. And besides, you can go if you want to.
Right.
If you don't want to get the permit from the State Department, go through Cancun, the Bahamas, or wherever.
Right.
Besides, people don't realize, Neil, that as an American citizen, you can go wherever the hell you want to go, and nobody can tell you anything.
Mm-hmm. You just have to make a stop, that's all.
Well, if that is if the country is going to let you go in. But you want to go to North Korea, you go through Japan or South Korea, whatever. And you go, you say, when you come back, there's nothing they can tell you because that's your right.
I'll be honest with you, I really never thought about going to North Korea.
Well,
I mean, not too high on my list.
You can go whatever the hell you want.
Right.
And this thing with he's going to be there until he dies.
Right.
Because that's what the United States, the world government wants. You would know if there's a revolution in Cuba, you know what would happen? About 200,000 people walking over the water over here. Then we'll have to feed about 10 or 11 million. It will work. Yeah, they don't want that. They just want to let him die in peace, and then they'll be in a
Let
race.
him die in peace like Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah,
there you
good
go.
old Joe.
Okay. Hasta que.
Bye.
Hasta la basta, la pasta. We have an open line at date, 56705. That's what they say, basta la pasta, okay? What's his name, the sales guy, Tony, what's his name? Todd Dreck? I'm trying to put it out of my mind. He was down here this morning hopping around with his boyfriend. There's like a little fraternity we got here. in our sales department. A little fraternity of all similar kind of guys, too, by the way. Open line at Date 1 in Broward, 5670560, pound 560. Come on, let's get with it. We got to solve this by 10 till 1. We got a short show today. And you notice I was right about Joe DiMaggio because we only had one call and he agreed with me. He said he was totally irrelevant in my life, and I would say the same thing. I don't drink coffee, okay, so I don't have no Mr. Coffee, and I don't even know if they make them anymore. They do make them? Like I said, totally irrelevant. But the media wants you to believe that this is the front page of the newspapers, everybody, Dave Hyde knew him, Bob Costas knew him, everybody and their brother is a frickin' name dropper. They once bumped into him in a goddamn lobby someplace.
That was fun.
Yeah, right, they all knew him. They were close personal buddies. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Yeah, hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got a few little things here. One thing, I heard around 9 o'clock this morning, Howard Stearns was using your material.
Yeah.
He was using that's absolutely correct, sir.
Really? Well, God bless Howard. Good luck to him.
Well, I thought you'd like to know that.
I don't care.
Another thing,
Just
you're
tell me
right on
someone
the Aerosmith, man, and all the way. Aerosmith and #1, baby.
Amen.
And I just wanted to know.
George's taste in music really blows.
And I like George too, man. When are you going to take another vacation so we can hear him?
Huh?
When are you going to take another vacation so we can hear George?
Oh, in other words, so you don't want to hear me? Is that what you're saying?
No, I love you, Neil, man.
Yeah.
I've been listening to you back.
I just got back.
You were on IOD.
I just got back from vacation, sir.
All right. Hey,
Can I
George,
take
you
another
like
one this
Ozzy? I want to talk to George. You got
Okay. Call. When George is on, talk to George, okay? Talk to him off the air. Call George off the air. Open line at Date 1 in Broward. He just wants to suck around. He's one of your little suckholes. See, you go on here for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden you got a little group of sucklings. Here you go, pal. Suck on this.
Idiot is sick and needs help badly.
Get away and feel the release. Smell the fresh sea air. Take in the unparalleled experience of Cuban rafting on Big Rhetoric. It's like a vacation, away from your troubles, your life back home. You're the skipper on a journey to a better place. The only thing between you and your destination is whatever nature has planned for you that day. Unpredictable, breathtaking, life-threatening. Cuban rafting on Big Rhetoric. Row your way to something better. Row faster. No, faster. Here come the sharks. You gotta row much faster than that. Row, damn it. Paid for by the U.S. Navy.
It's 11:43 at 560 WQAM. Just a little over an hour away from the pregame show for the big game, baby. Any interest?
No.
Dodgers?
No.
Marlins?
No.
2 open lines in Broward. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, sir?
Yeah, Neil, long-time listener, first-time caller. Listen, I agree with you on a lot of things. I disagree on a few.
Yes.
And, the thing about Cuba today that you're talking, I'm Cuban myself, and I've been here since 61. There's a lot of opinions expressed today that are really absurd.
Like?
The embargo thing is a total myth. I mean, he's always had relationships with Canada, with Mexico, with most of Europe. He's had people coming in and out and trading all he wanted with Spain, everybody.
Yeah.
So that's not the reason for the misery in Cuba right now. It's the system that they have.
Yeah.
The people that came, when I came, was not for economical reasons. It's because we didn't have any freedom of speech, no freedom of press, and no freedom of assembly. Somebody like you who expresses your opinion, you would be throwing your butt in gear in 2 seconds over there.
So in other words, you had freedom of speech when Batista was there?
Yes, a lot more than Castro.
No, you didn't have freedom of speech.
Listen, Batista was a dictator also. That doesn't. My family didn't agree with Batista either. And I left when I was 12, so I don't remember. It wasn't my choice.
But, what do Cubans really know about freedom of speech? They've grown up under 2 dictators. One was a fascist, one was a communist.
No. Batista was not a fascist. He was a dictator,
of course
but he was
he was.
He was much milder than this here. I mean,
Sir, let me say it again. Fulgencio Batista was un fascista, okay?
He was a dictator. Yeah, I agree with you. We don't disagree on that. But you had a lot more freedom.
If you were a friend of the regime, then you did great, and then you were pissed off when he got his ass knocked out.
Let me tell you, a lot of
and you lost your land and all your money, and you came schlepping over here.
A lot of the
and opened up a dentist office and started drilling people's teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, my father fought against Batista. Okay.
Solar magnetic bracelets on Channel 23.
Yeah, a lot of the people that are here in exile, initially, they were with Castro.
Gold
at
charms.
the beginning.
Yeah.
Because they didn't think that this
Doing
was going to
psychic
turn out into
readings
a
on
communist
51.
dictatorship.
Yeah.
Okay, but the system is
So
wrong
what's
with
the
Cuba.
point? But what is the point?
And
It's
the other
40 years
thing is
later,
that the
he's
Cubans
not
haven't
going
tried.
anywhere. He isn't going anywhere.
Well, but, you know, he has a lot of interest that are keeping him there also. You know, we Cubans did try in Bay of Pigs, invading Cuba.
Yeah.
Okay, the Argentinians tried in the Falklands. We tried in Bay of Pigs, and we got royally screwed by Kennedy at the time.
Well, that's
Okay.
almost 40 years ago now.
Well, we haven't had a chance to do anything else after that. Anybody who tries to do anything from here, they get thrown in jails.
Right, because you can't run your own foreign policy.
And
That's
you have-
right.
you have
They have
all
laws against that.
You have all the countries
Why
around.
don't you talk to the people in Argentina? Look at the great job they did in the Falkland Islands.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know about Argentina.
Why not?
but
Las
anyway,
Malvinas. Just make a different name for it.
well, but what does that have to do with Cuba?
Nuestra Isla.
What does that have to do with Cuba anyway?
I don't know. What does Cuba have to do with us? What does
And
it
where
have to
they
do with my
mentioned-
life?
Well, there's a lot of Cubans in that town. I mean, if you didn't
Sir,
know.
there's a lot of Jews in this town. I don't see them running over to Israel. I mean, there's a lot of all kinds of people. Well, what does that have to do with anything? There's a lot of Chinese people in Toronto. I don't see them all running over back to China.
Well, you were talking about the embargo as the reason
Sir,
that they
so let me ask you
Cuba.
this. Would you say that China is the largest communist government-dominated country in the world today? Is there
Yeah,
any
that's
debate
right.
about it?
That's right.
Yes.
It is.
Number one, we do business with China.
I
We
know.
have relations with China.
Well,
we
because it's-
travel freely to and from China, and we have
And
for
you travel
years now.
freely from to Cuba also.
But in the meantime, all the Chinese people that we have in this country and up in Canada, for example, I don't see them screaming and hollering about comunista, comunista. They're doing their thing. They're living their lives wherever they are now.
Well, they don't. You know, the people here would like to have Castro overthrown, but we don't. First of all, you know, Castro.
So
has
why is
its
there?
own
So why
brand
is
of,
it every time somebody does anything, like playing a baseball game, or some recording artist, or some artist who performed there, or who whatever, every time they open up a mouth and have a different point of view, right away the Cuban community here wants to attack them and make a big deal about it. It's so old, like I said before, it's like playing a stuck record. We're fed up with it, sir. We're tired of it. We're throwing up from it already. We're vomiting from it. We're puking from
Arafat
it.
came to Miami Beach, you would see all the Jews running around
Who?
yelling and screaming.
If who came?
Arafat or any of the Palestinians came down here and did anything. You would see all the Jews running around and yelling and screaming and
What
whatever.
does that have to do with what I just got through saying? How come when the Pope went to Cuba, who's a lot more powerful than Arafat, how come when the Pope went down, there was no demonstration screaming and hollering about it?
Well, some people complained about it. I mean, he made a fool out of the Pope.
I never heard any.
Everybody.
I never heard any. I never saw in the media. I didn't see Ileana Ross-Layton getting up there screaming in the Congress, comunista, comunista. I didn't see anybody yelling commie sympathizer, pinko bastard. I didn't see that.
Didn't agree with his going there either.
Yeah, well, they were sure awful quiet about it.
Well, I tell you, it's a big problem. He's going to be there for a long time. I don't see any way of getting him out of there.
So then why don't we just go out and live our lives? And if the Orioles want to play a baseball game there, who the hell gives a crap? That's not going to change anything.
Well, you know, some people have a right to complain, though. It's a freedom of speech, you know. If they don't like it, they don't like people doing any kind of
but how come?
they have a right to complain.
But what about the freedom of speech of the people I was just talking about? The people, the performers, and the artists that want to come here and perform on Miami Beach, and because of the fact that maybe they like Castro or they once shook his hand, right away their concert gets canceled. They have bomb threats.
They have a right to do it.
But they have a right to do what?
But to come here, they do.
And every time they try, you're not listening to me, sir. And have a nice life. Good luck to you, because you have an ear problem. You only hear what you want to hear. Freedom of speech, again, it's freedom of speech for those who decide that whether they like what you say. But if they don't like what you said or you want your hands with somebody they don't like, then you don't have no more freedom of speech. You can't perform, you can't show your art, you can't do this, you can't play baseball, you can't do whatever. And let me tell you right now, that is not.
That's the American
effing
way.
The American effing way, okay? Which is one of the big problems we got in this town, is that we got all kinds of people here who don't want to understand the American effing way. They don't want to hear from it. They don't know from it. Because like I tried to explain to this last guy, when you got people who grew up under fascism, which is as bad or worse than communism, it's the same thing, any ism, totalitarianism, they don't know from freedom. But anyway, what I say, I'm getting worked up. We're exactly 1 hour away from the big ball game, baby. Now we're talking. Oh! 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Nels, what's up?
Okay.
A lot of these Cubans, they're, they want to foam at the mouth, get all surly, but the fact of the matter is, I'd say about maybe 90% of them really don't care because they're over here in a 20 times better environment. They have a lot of
20 times.
They have a lot
20 million times.
Even though they're surrounded by their own kin, they're over here, they have a lot of freedoms that they didn't have over there. And I, for one, would like to say that if the
I'll guarantee you there's no Sedanos on the streets of Havana. I'll guarantee you that right now.
No, there's dead cat vendors. Maybe that's it, but
right.
No Sedanos. If the bearded one fell, it would be kind of good because then all these old militant Julios would just go back.
No, they would not. They wouldn't go anywhere. They're not going nowhere, man. They got appointments for domino games 10 years from now. In Domino Park, that's right.
Hey, by the way, Neil, how's that rash doing?
It's doing great.
I'm a fellow victim of Patch Adams' medical semantics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to badmouth Laporta because I think he rules, but he has a real minimalist approach when it comes to, diagnosing people.
Right.
So it's like, he gives you the
well,
whole...
You can't complain about his diagnosis because he doesn't give you one.
Yeah, well, his favorite diagnosis for every patient is contact dermatitis. So you know how that goes. By the way, Neil, I had this friend, since you were talking about wrestling, this is going to be, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
This is how gay that sport is. He had to, during practice, he would be the wrestling coach's sparring partner. And one day, he was talking about how they put him in a hold, and he's like, you know what? The coach's balls really smell.
Yeah.
I'm like, how would you know that?
Well, when you get...
He's like, well, he scissored my head in between his legs.
Well, of course. That's the idea, is to get the other guy's head right down in there, man.
Hey, Neil.
Right down on it.
Where do you find Goldie? Right where you got him. Oh!
Oh, man, talk about... Well, he's from Dr. Mark. Oh, and by the way, Dr. Mark, you'll be pleased to know I brought this in today so I could read this on the air from my good friend Stanley, who's a great guy, by the way. If you have any dermatological problems, go see my buddy Stanley over there at the Center for Dermatology in Hollywood. They're great. But nevertheless, so they take the biopsy, which it left me, a little scar that's healing up nicely, and most of my rash is gone. But nevertheless, I still, I got a few little aches and pains because I'm getting old. I think I'm going to have appendicitis soon. But at any rate, here's the report. Skin biopsy, left neck. Wait till you hear this. Rare necrotic epidermal keratinocytes with sparse superficial perivascular lymphohistocytic infiltrate. Oh, that's my favorite. Sparse superficial perivascular lymphohistocytic infiltrate and mild dermal edema. Comment. This pattern is not fully diagnostic, but could represent mild sunburn reaction. No. Or possibly a subtle manifestation of solar urticaria. No, whatever that is, no. One additional possibility is an early expression of dermal contact dermatitis. What do we just hear from our paisan there? Features characteristic for drug eruption are not identified.
No.
So the idea of being allergic to Adalat or Ratatat, whatever that was? Wrong. Sorry, Dr. Apaskodnyak. Doctors are basically, guys trying to make a living. They don't know this. Now, surgeons I have great respect for. There are a lot of great surgeons. They do miraculous things, especially if they're taking out the right body part at the time, which usually they do. But, doctors, they're like schmoozers. Like he says, Patch Adams with the red nose, have a good life, you don't need me, could be this, could be that. And now that this is mostly gone, Dr. Mark will say, see, I told you, just wait another 6 or 7 years. Isn't that what he said the other day when he called last Friday? Yeah, just wait another 60 or 70 years. It'll be gone. Here's Perrine. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Just let's talk about Joe DiMaggio here a little bit. Do you think, for a minute, that Joe DiMaggio could possibly hit even 30 consecutive times in today's modern era of 90-plus mile fastballs?
You mean with all these minor league pitchers? Yeah, I would think so.
No. We're talking about. I'm talking about.
That's the main reason that you had the McGuire-Sosa thing last year, which everybody likes to ride. It was exciting, but the fact is you've got all this expansion, and you've got the quality of the pitching is grotesque.
Well, I'm talking about the era of the Bob Gibsons and the Sandy Koufaxes and all that.
Right.
We're talking about when he hit his 56. You know what year that was?
41.
What was going on in 41? Major war.
No.
Not only did it...
No.
Just 1941.
No.
World War II.
We weren't in the war.
Yes, we were.
December 7th.
In 41, we were in the war.
No, we were not.
Yes, we were.
No, we were not. But Japan bombed Pearl Harbor on December the 7th.
We started actually in 1939, Neil.
No, we were not.
We were
not. No, we were not. We were not, and we didn't declare war on anybody until Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, sir. You better go read a history book.
What year was that?
1941, December 7th. The season was already over with.
We were already involved.
Unless they were playing baseball in the wintertime back then, which we all doubt.
We were already, and how many black
Sir,
guys?
let
How many
me
black
say it
people?
again. There was not one American fighting a war when Joe DiMaggio hit in 56 consecutive games, okay? His hitting streak was May 1st to July 16th, 1941.
The war machine was already getting cranked up.
There was not any draft. There was nobody in the military. There was nobody. The war machine was getting cranked up. All the good ball players were in the war. Oh, my God! Ow! Woo! Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, everybody. Here we go. Isn't this ridiculous? And you talk about vanilla. You talk about silly baby crap music. Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. I think that guy that faxed that list the other day was just trying to be an agent provocateur and succeeded, by the way. I mean, you want to talk about some of the great music of the 50s, something really memorable. If it ever queues up on this stupid thing. What's wrong with this thing?
Where are you, little star?
Oh, that was the song. That was great. Remember the Elegance?
No.
Neil God.
Come on, come on, come on, come on now, tax me, babe. Uncle Sam, take all the money that I made.
Okay.
And while you're at it, audit me. You add insult to injury. Just take my firstborn baby. Now I'm taking deductions out the old yin-yang. I'm gonna find some tax loopholes just to make those weasels piss the IRS. Come on, come on, come on, come on now, tax me, babe.
Okay.
Tax my dog, tax my freaking toupee. Tax my patience, tax my sanity. Yeah, I'm gonna lose it anyway. By April 15th, that's ready day.
12:03 at 560 WQAM, just 47 minutes away from the pregame for the Marlins and the Dodgers. We have an open line in Broward, 2 and Dade. It's kind of thinned out here now, especially after that last bozo was on there. I think he scared almost everybody away, including me. And in addition to which, the whole discussion there had nothing to do with what I was talking about. That kind of discussion, save it for the sports shows, you know, like for the wee hours of the morning when they're really bored and got nothing else to talk about. Trying to compare athletes from one generation to another. Oh, well, if Babe Ruth were alive, how can you do that? You can't. You can argue about it. It's mental masturbation. There's no point in it. It's just a wasteful exercise. Just like screaming about playing the Orioles playing in Cuba. A wasted exercise. Pointless. But this guy's rewriting history. Oh, the military machine was cranking up. They were drafting all the ball players. Were they doing that? No. That wasn't my point. My point was that Joe DiMaggio, for 3 generations of people in this country, is not relevant. Wasn't relevant. It was wonderful, the Children's Hospital. He raised millions and millions of dollars. I give him all the credit in the world for that. He was a classy guy. Fine. But he wasn't relevant to our lives in any way, shape, or form. And like Paul Simon said, if his name would have had a different number of syllables, it wouldn't have been in the song anyway. We have an open line in Dade 1 in Broward. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile 1 line. Here's South Miami. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I learn something new every day. So when we crank up the war machine, the first thing we do is pull up all the pictures.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
That's the funniest.
Well, if you're going to pull up the pictures, you got to send the catchers too, you know.
That's just, I can't believe that stuff.
Yeah.
1941, the guy's having an argument with you, and then he starts saying to you, well, what year did it start?
Right, exactly. This guy knows a lot about history. There's nothing like having Cubans coming here and telling us, oh, he wasn't Cuban. That's right.
I don't know, man.
Maybe he was.
freedom of speech, I want to just tell you that it's nice to hear somebody complain about the embargo, which I guess is like the one underlying thing that people are calling up angry about.
No
today.
wonder the Anglo-Canadians are starting to hate us like poison.
And then the guy,
blame
like 2 calls ago, was just like all the tired sawhorses, like, blaming poor old dead Kennedy when the CIA released...
Yeah, the dead Kennedys are the ones that did it. That's right.
But the CIA released a
Their
report
music
like
sucked
4
anyway.
months ago saying it was all our fault. We used and screwed and lied to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's the bottom line on that.
Yeah.
And lastly,
that would be like the Indians start screaming about, well, what a mess New York is now. Yeah, it's ancient history. Let's get on with life.
Speaking of
If
generality,
old people want to live in the past, let them do it, okay? I don't have time for that.
a lot of people don't know that there's a lot of Cubans in Miami who are against the embargo.
Yeah.
Cubans.
Well, don't let Ileana find out about it.
And all the
They'll come and
embargo
trace their
does,
goddamn thing.
all the embargo does is deny children who don't know rheumatism from communism,
Right.
the drugs that all of the children in the world get.
Right.
That's the only thing it does.
Amen.
And make a bunch of mean-spirited people feel good. All it does in Cuba is kill children who don't even know politics.
God bless you.
You know.
Okay.
So the hell with that. And lastly,
Yes.
in closing,
Yes.
why can't the Panthers be like the Rangers and have some kind of great streak while their star is gone? Why is that not a possibility?
Well, maybe they didn't get a bogus call in overtime like the Rangers did last night against my Maple Leafs, but good luck to you, sir. That was weak. But hey, we blow a 2-0 lead. We got Glenn Healy let in 3 greasy goals. But the Leafs are doing okay. We're still number 4 seed. We're sliding a little bit, but everybody goes through it. Tonight's the big game of the year, by the way, for my 10 Panther fans out there in Boston in the Fleet Enema Center. Do or die, baby. This is it. It's all on the line. Dade County's open, 5670560. They're probably talking to their consultants over there at Radio Mambi to find out what they're supposed to say. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile. What are you smirking about? We get that all the time. People that don't even know who the hell I am. Well, I want to talk to the host at yeah, right. They're all pissed off because somebody on some banana boat station told them I said this, I said that. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Neil, we spoke the other day about the Panthers, and after watching a few of the moves they've made, I happen to think you're right. It's time to fire the entire front office. I don't understand the moves they're making.
What does that mean? Because they got rid of Slava Butsayev, who was going to be a hell of a player?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Just because Pavel Bure got
some of the other moves they've made. I've looked into what they've done in the last couple
But
of
how
years.
can
and
you
I think
say that on the
absolutely
day following that big win last night? How can you be saying that now?
Well, you know something? You can't. Well, a wave is a wave. That's one thing, but you got to look at the long run here.
Yeah.
What we need is some solid performances from the guys. We need to. Well, you know what's going on is you got the.
Well, what does that mean? We need some. I love that. We need some solid performances from the guys. What kind of that's the kind of crap I'd expect to hear on one of the sports shows on his station.
No, I'm not a sports nut like that.
So what does that mean? We need some solid performances from the guys. What does that mean?
From the young kids, the ones that we're talking about trading. You're talking about the Niedermayers. You're talking about.
Okay, good. Well, go talk about them to somebody else. Boring. Open line in Broward, all 3 in Dade. 5670560, pound 560. See, we got a ball game later on this hour. They're already all gone. They heard you got a ball game coming up. The whole audience is gone, okay? Thank you so much, Greg, Mr. Sports Maven upstairs. God, am I impressed. Should have left here at 11:50. It would have been a great day. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Hey, 2 things. Number 1, who in the hell was that asswipe talking about the war starting in 1939 with the Americans involved?
He's an asshole.
Christ.
Somebody that knows nothing about American history or anything else. A moron.
Holy mackerel. I couldn't believe it.
In addition to which, like I said before, it's such a stupid exercise to try to compare athletes who played 50 years ago and 100 years. It's like saying, well, Ty Cobb, he couldn't hit 100 if he was playing. How the hell do you know what he could do? Let's dig him up and find out, huh?
And
Let's wait for him to come back.
My second point is this. What kind of a freaking moron puts your show on and interrupts it with a game that doesn't count with a team that will not win?
Yeah.
What kind of a freaking idiot does that?
Greg freaking Reed. That's who does it. Freaking Greg Reed.
I didn't even know this station existed until I heard you were on it.
Right.
I know they put this stupid.
But we just had this
baseball
great trend. The ratings here, we're dominating the whole goddamn market here in the middle of the day, and they butcher it up. And of course, Hank is going to get slaughtered there in the, in this coming, in this month anyway, with all these stupid exhibition games. Get butchered.
Good God, I can think of at least the people just that I know, at least 200 people that are ready to fire baseballs at their radio with this stupid BS on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Neil, have yourself a great one. Happy anniversary.
Okay, and enjoy the game. Okay, we have an open line in Broward 2 and Dade, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Come on, let's get the lead out of your ass. Okay, we got 40 minutes to go here until that big baseball game comes up. Don't let me just sit here and die because we got a goddamn exhibition ball game coming up that nobody cares about. That's in the contract that we got to carry it. The Dodgers and the Marlins with even the regular season games. Does anybody care about those? No. But John Henry was a pile-driving man. Don't forget that. And he was also the cynosure of racing. Just ask that jackass Phil Georgieff. Thank God he retired, that jackass. Race caller in Chicago, Phil Georgieff. What an idiot. What a pseudo-intellectual jackass. I mean, how can you be a race announcer and be a pseudo-intellectual? And by the way, speaking of race announcers, I'm flipping the channels. I'm turning on the sports channel yesterday to watch the Panther pregame. I turned it on a little bit early. They got the highlights from Gulfstream, and I guess Tom Durkin's gone back to New York now. And God, are we lucky to have Tom Durkin here during part of the year again? Yes, the greatest. And who we got? We got that mumble-mouth, mush-mouth Ross Morton from Finger Lakes Racetrack in Canandaigua, New York we got down here. That's the kind of classy outfit they are over there at Gulfstream. He must have naked pictures of Joe Tannenbaum. Ross Morton. Mr. Morton. I mean, this guy, unbelievable. Even the jockeys are flipping him off during the race. Hey, Ross, call the right horse one time. Jesus Christ. This is a guy, this guy's got such an ego. You know how the sports stations, like IOD used to run the little bit of the call of the race of the feature race every day. He wanted to charge for the call. He wanted to charge the radio stations for using his voice on the air. This is a guy who his big claim and fame is for the last 36 years he's been calling races in the Finger Lakes, New York, racetrack in Canandaigua, New York. In Farmington, New York, 8 miles outside of town. Farmington, you know how many people live there? The same number of people are like on this floor in this building right now. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Neil, you there?
Yes, I am.
I'm getting a little tired of you bad-mouthing Joe D. I'm tired of it. Okay, he did a lot for a lot of people in this country.
What?
He showed him a lot of joy, and you're sitting there bad-mouthing the guy.
Bad-mouthing him about what?
I mean, about everything. Making fun of him. The guy's dead. Let him rest in peace.
What did he do for you?
It doesn't matter. What did he do?
What did he do for you? How did he change your life? How did he change your life?
He gave me a lot of things.
What did Joe DiMaggio give to you?
He gave me a lot of things.
What did he give you?
Inspiration.
Inspiration to do what? To make this phone call? Well, geez, no, thank God he's dead. We have an open line in Broward, 5670560 and pound 560 on the mobile one line. Joe DiMaggio. He wouldn't know Joe DiMaggio from goddamn Joe Costello, this guy, okay? From Frank Costello, who, by the way, used to hang out at Joe Stonecrab's. I just mentioned that in passing. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi. This is your friends, the coin traders, calling about the sign thing.
My friends, the coin traders? You mean with a sign thing in Sunrise?
Yeah, as you know, I guess today's the election for the commissioners.
Yeah, well, vote them all out.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What we should do.
Get rid of that goddamn Pat Salerno. Is he up for election?
He's a city manager. I don't know. Does he get voted in, or is he?
You're asking me about I would imagine he's appointed.
Yeah, that's a guy we got to get out of there.
Crap.
But I think we should do like what they did in that movie, Brewster's Millions. Just vote for none of the above.
Yeah. Bring back old LaMelo.
Yeah, there you go. He's just as crooked as the rest of them.
Right.
And the funny part is
at least
in
he's
the
on your
forum,
side.
they have they had an article saying that all these guys are in violation because they all have their signs along the highway, which is a violation of the ordinance, but they can get away with it. And the guys like us in business are harassed by it. It's a joke.
Take their ass to court, pal. Sue them for about $200 million. They'll straighten their ass out.
There you go. Thanks, Neil.
I'm serious. Good luck to you.
Okay.
Okay, there's the guy looking for a free plug again, Sunrise. Well, they deserve it. The coin dealer guy and the lady with the laundry there that the Pat Salerno is trying to put out of business because we got too much flashy neon here in Sunrise. It's interfering with the dead people. It's interfering with the enjoyment of their death. Too many flashy neon signs, just like in Vegas, by the way. Yeah. Better cut that down to a dull roar, baby. Oh, did I mention that the Mandarin Bay, somebody called a few days ago about that. It's open now. Every time, in fact, Hank's on the way out to Vegas right now. He'll be doing a show from there the rest of the week. Every time you turn around, they're opening a new, glitzier, bigger and better, the Bellagio, the Mandarin Bay, and then we got Paris coming up, and we got that, what's the other one, Venus, Venusia, whatever that thing is. You know what I'm talking about. Every 5 minutes there's a brand new, and by the way, they had a little bit of a dip there for a while, now they're making a comeback. Even with all the added hotel rooms, they're kicking ass. Thank God we don't have that here. Oh man. Right, sweetheart?
This is the real Barbara Tappertman.
Yeah, there you go. She helped give us that Art Deco. Oh, by the way, anybody see that thing on Dateline last night? That's a good show. That's about the only thing on MSNBC worth watching is Dateline. And The Time Machine. I like that too with Jane Pauley. Although they keep showing the same ones over and over. But anyway, they had the thing about that new book by, what's her name? Margaret Orth. They left off the end because she didn't want to be confused with Peter North. But anyway, about Kunanon. Did you see that? You didn't see that piece?
I saw like the previews of it.
I'm going to go out and get the book because there's a lot of stuff in there. And, of course, they glossed over it last night on Dateline about the butcher job the FBI did and about the fact they didn't really alert anybody and nobody knew that he was right here in the middle of et cetera and so on. And also, for the first time, we found out that Gianni Versace was HIV positive, which the family, of course, denies vehemently, but it's hard to deny science. So now they're speculating about, like, maybe that's one of the reasons he had a vendetta. Who knows? But they did know each other from before. I just mentioned that in passing. Him and Gianni. It's not Johnny, by the way. All you Guidos out there. G-I-A-N, however you spell it. Ain't no Johnny. Hey, is Johnny home? They give you the bafangul over there if you pull that crap. Like asking for your focaccia.
Estoy estrangulando el pollo para acá.
That's all for Neil today. The Marlins have to play. I'm sure Neil doesn't mind going home. Now 2 or 3 sport holes and hear a team that blows. As the rest of us with lives turn off the radio. It's Marlins baseball. It's boring and it's Marlins baseball. It's such a goddamn city designed for those who don't like to think and get excitement from recalking the sink. It's Marlins baseball. Boy, no one gives a Forget the entertainment. The Marlins want their payment. Contractual agreements must be met.
No.
Despite the rating dip, they have to pay the bid and hope they find an audience whose brains are dead. It's Marlins baseball. It's time to make a stand with Marlins baseball. I'd rather hear Jim Manning exciting as the sound of drying paint. Designed for those with trouble getting laid. It's Marlins baseball. Oh! For lifeless asshole schmucks.
There's one spot open in the rotation. Pitch bunted at and missed.
Marlins baseball. No one gives a
Pitch bunted. Little trickle up the third baseline. A very good one. Picked up by the third baseman. Smith zings it on the first. He took the first baseman off the bag.
Oh, my God. He took him right off the goddamn bag. Call 22 at 560 WQAM. Just a half hour away from a lot more of that with Boog and Joe and Dave and Sam and Dave. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Mobile in Miami with a lot of noise out there. Yes.
Hello. Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to throw a curveball on the Cubans that are more or less complaining about the Orioles going over there.
Yes.
A lot of times when I'm Cuban myself, okay, even though I haven't been able to go to Cuba because I'm still in the Army. But my family does. And a lot of times, those the families that are over there, and they have family members here in the United States, are living comfortably.
Yeah.
What I'm saying comfortably is they're having to eat. They can get any type of medication that they want.
Yeah.
As long as you have the good old U.S. dollars over there.
Right.
So, I mean, if you don't have a family member that's over here, then you might be a little bit of trouble over there.
Yeah.
But anything that they want, anything that they can get, it's all being done in the black market that's down there.
I think black is the operative word. How do you think the black Cubans are doing over there? Not too good?
They're doing okay over there. I mean, if you have family members over there...
I think Levon and El Duce, I think they're sending a lot of cash.
I'm sure that all these politicians that are always telling you that how bad things are in Cuba, believe me when I tell you that they're sending money over there. When they go over there, I'll put it this way. There's always somebody that's going over there, and you always know who it is.
I think the technology there would surprise you how far ahead they are of us. I heard somebody yesterday saying that most of the Cubans are HD TV positive. Have a great day, amigo.
Thank you.
Arrivederci. Huh? Oh, yeah, they got 25,000 lines, just like in Liberty City. We have an open line at date, 567. No, that's on the picture we're talking about. That's on the tube, man, on the tube. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Yeah, Dr. Mark was right. I'm slowly working my way out of this. I think he's right. Another 6-7 years, I'm going to feel great after they take my appendix out. See, when you start getting old, boys and girls, as soon as one thing clears up, then you start having aches and pains someplace else. Then you wind up with a little bit of a pain in your rectum, because life is basically a pain in your ass anyway. You just do the best you can. And just stay away from those doctors. They'll kill you. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, I think the Miami Herald once again stoops to an all-time low.
Yes?
Bob Rubin says that Joe DiMaggio retired at age 37. Dan LeBastard says he retired at age 36. In the same newspaper, somebody please get it right. Not that it really matters or anything, but
it just goes to show you, though, don't ever believe anything you read in the Herald. Double check it, triple check it,
bunch
and
of more.
laugh at it.
The other thing is that Dan LeBastard has about as much perspective. Dan LeBastard has about much perspective on Joe DiMaggio as my 10-year-old kid.
Well, how about all these people that are talking about it, for crying out loud? They weren't even born when he retired. Now, he retired 48 years ago, December 11th, 1951. That was only 4 days after they dropped the bomb on Pearl Harbor, I mentioned, by the way. He retired. He announced his retirement. How many of these people were even born then?
None. And I mean,
like Dave Hyde? Was Dave Hyde born then?
No.
Michael Mayo?
No. Eddie the Pope
Dan LeBastard?
No. Eddie the Pope of Greenwich Village? Okay. Hank Goldberg had a great thing with him yesterday, and we know that Hank knew Joe D very well. But, I mean, what insight...
Hank wasn't name-dropping again yesterday, was he?
Yeah, he played tapes with him, and he played tapes in the interviews. But
some in the elephant. Yeah.
I don't know if you read LeBastard this morning.
No, of course not. I wouldn't read that.
No insight, no anything. And the last thing is...
50,000 columns about Joe DiMaggio in both papers, and all of them written by guys that never even saw him.
The guy was a freak. He was a recluse. I mean, if he had cash, we'd say he was Howard Hughes. I mean, it's ridiculous.
But boy, I'm still saying, how can nobody has commented a thing about Mickey Mantle?
Well, Mickey was a drunk. That's why.
Well, yeah, okay, but he was a drunk and had a bad liver. But at least we heard about it. A lot of people said, "Well, you shouldn't have." They put him ahead on the list. He got the liver before people had deserved it, and he brought on his own misery. I mean, Joe DiMaggio had lung cancer. He was a chain smoker.
Yeah, I know. Could it be that maybe he was illiterate and people don't want to say it?
No, he's the Teflon icon.
But he never went to high school. I mean, somebody said that he had trouble. LeBastard said that he had trouble spelling his own name when he first came up to baseball.
Yeah.
So maybe
it's like any of those Dago names. Too many letters.
Maybe the guy really was a dope. I don't know.
Could be.
Anyway, thanks, Neil.
See ya. Well, Marilyn Monroe, she had a high IQ. She was sharp. I'll be honest with you, she wasn't that beautiful, There's another one of those things, another one of those hype jobs.
It was a character thing.
Is that
she had a big smile.
Yeah.
And she smiled a
lot. And she was blonde.
Right.
And she was in that scene where the wind blew her dress, which, by the way, Joe was very upset about that.
Yes, he was.
What was that movie?
7-Year Itch.
Was that it? Where the wind, she was standing over the grate.
Especially because
and everybody said, yeah, that's great.
Apparently she had transparent panties the first time around, and he freaked out, so they had to put her in double panties.
She had transparent panties in that scene?
Oh, my God.
Wow. I'm surprised they didn't bring her on that TV show later on. Leave it to... Okay, we have an open line in Dade, 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Now, she was, all right looking. I mean, the Kennedys liked her. Of course, they were like any slut, Although they had much better taste than our present. Okay, by the way, did you see poor Monica in Britain yesterday? The paparazzi? Oh, it was great. I loved it. They just about annoyed her right off the stage there with her book signing. What a joke. Here's a bitch. Here's a slut. Goes with her presidential knee pads. Broke up this other guy's marriage when she was 17 years old. Always running around with married guys. She's a piece of crap that saves a dress with a semen stain on it for a souvenir. And now she's running around the world peddling her book. She's an iconess. Bitch. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
You are the man.
Yes, I am.
Hey, Neil, I challenge I challenge anybody to call in and say why this guy is a hero. I mean, I really want to know what this guy has done for anybody.
Why?
Well, he just sponsored that great coffee maker. I think that jerk from New York that called a few calls ago, he probably got himself a free, one of those coffee makers, Mr. Coffee, a couple of years ago.
Yeah. A true American hero. Come on. What's it,
he was a ball player. He was a very good ball player. He was a great ball player. But you know something? Even you look at his lifetime statistics, he had 361 home runs. What the hell is that?
It's nothing. It was just a marketing tool, and so everybody can be a millionaire off this guy.
This guy, if you round it off a little bit, this guy hit about half as many lifetime home runs as Babe Ruth, less than half as many as Henry Aaron. So what's the big deal with this guy?
What a joke.
When Henry Aaron dies, are we going to say, oh, my God, an American icon? Just of course not.
Yeah.
Because he's the wrong complexion anyway.
I challenge anybody, Neil. You're the man. Thanks.
All right. Plus, of course, like they're calling this morning, I'm going to come into work. Oh, how about Roberto Clemente? Roberto Clemente wasn't going to be recognized because he was black, he was Puerto Rican, he was, played in a small market, Pittsburgh. Joe DiMaggio, man, he played in New York. So anything in New York automatically, has to be bigger and better and more important. That has to be an American icon. Although I still say double standard. Mickey Mantle, bad liver, okay? Not too many, too much booze. This guy, bad lungs. And I got news for you. When you chain smoke that much and you wind up with a spot on your lung when you're almost 84 years old, you're pretty lucky. You've been pushing it, baby. Chain smoker. Why aren't these goody two-shoes? It shows you how phony they are. Oh, we care about the kids. Right, just like Henry Hyde cared about the kids of America, about the message it was going to send that we got a philandering president, the same Henry Hyde there was 2 children in the marriage that he broke up with that poor guy that's living in Weston right now. Didn't care about those kids, did he?
Yes.
Phony bastard. Phony piece of crap. They're all so concerned. Well, why don't they use him as an example? If you want to die at the early age of 84, like Weinstein Churchill. How old was he when he died, by the way? Like 90? No, seriously, he lived out close to 90. Drank like a fish and smoked those stogies. I mean, even in his sleep, he had a stogie in his puss. Maybe he knew better than Monica and Bubba, huh? He always had a stogie even in bed. God only knows what he was doing with it. George Burns, he only lived to 100. Always had a stogie puffing away at his puss.
And he really smoked them, too.
Right, of course.
One a day at least.
How about W.C. Fields? Always had a big fat one. Here's Mobile in Delray Beach. Hello.
Jupiter now, Neil.
Here's Jupiter. Hello.
Hey, Neil, you think they put on the Marlins because it's going to be about as boring as Hank's spot?
Okay, thanks. I'm sure Hank appreciates that. See, always pick on Hank when he's out of town on the way to Vegas. That's good. I got news for you. Even Hank could come on and fart, and it would be more interesting than all the Marlin exhibition games put together. Is there any doubt about that? No. Hank could come on and do name dropping for 4 hours a day. Well, I guess he does that. But I mean, he could do that for 5 minutes, and it would be more interesting than all the highlights of these stupid exhibitionist games that even the Marlins don't care about them. Oh, but we got Cliff Floyd. Yeah. I put him right up there with Joe D. Joe Darnell. Learning to spell with Joe Darnell. Here's Mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
You're so busy with your faggot hockey.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Here we go again. Call a morning show, okay? And this guy's still listening. He's still listening. Thank you. God bless you, sir. It's the Fag Hockey Talk Show. The one that doesn't listen between 10 and 2. And oh, what a shame that we got to have this on, that we have to listen to this. Trace the call. Let's find out where he is. He's being held at gunpoint. Oh, too late. Damn it. Here's a Mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're right about one thing, man. Marilyn was beautiful.
She was what?
She was beautiful.
I didn't say that. I said she was marginal. I didn't think she was all that.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry.
She was okay.
Anyway, but it was Kennedy's fault she died. Let's blame it on Kennedy anyway.
Kennedy's fault that who died? Marilyn Monroe? Okay, bad phone. Call me back. Or not. 2 open lines in Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile line. See, that's another one of those mysteries. All you religious nuts out there that believe this stuff that supposedly happened thousands of years ago before we had a printing press or a typewriter or a telephone or a newspaper. And even now, here we are, we got newspapers. You're reading the Herald, can you believe it?
No.
So what does that tell you? Another one of those mysteries. How did Marilyn Monroe die? Will we ever really know? No. Was Bobby Kennedy involved? Could be. Peter Lawford? Well, we'll never know. And that happened in our lifetime. Elvis, is he still alive? Do we really know for sure?
No.
I think I saw him at Dunkin' Donuts this morning with the Plantation Police Force. Here's Miami. Hello.
Thanks to you, Mrs. Robinson, Jolton Joe has gone and long walked away. Hi.
Oh man, that was good. That was emotional. Where have you gone, Mrs. Roosevelt? Yeah, that's what he was going to put on there. Thank God for all these Bob Costas types that want to get real emotional about Joe D now. What if Paul Simon would have done? I mean, you've heard that song 60,000 times since yesterday morning now on CNN, ESPN, yeah, which I like the song. Don't get me wrong about that. I love Paul Simon and Garfunkel. He's okay too. They're both Jewish. But I mean, jeez, what if he would have used some different let's see, Joe DiMaggio, 5 syllables. See, Tony Lazzara, where have you gone, Tony Lazzara? See, that wouldn't fit. Mickey Mantle, no. Eddie Robinson, where have you gone, Eddie Robinson? A lonely nation turns getting head from you. How about Jackie Robinson? Huh? That would have been good. That would have fit in. Of course, he was a Schwarzer, and Paul Simon went to, what was all that Afrikaner music he did later on? Huh? What was the name of that album? Real quick.
Album for the people.
No, come on. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't buy it.
What's the name of that album? I didn't either. I hated that. That was garbage. But, I mean, what was the name of it? But at any rate, how come that would have been perfect? That would have been more appropriate because Jackie Robinson, he transcended sports. The first black player in Major League Baseball. He was a trendsetter. He was a groundbreaker. He was a pioneer and a great player. Where have you gone, Jackie Robinson? Come on, let's hear it. We want Folk O'Brien to redo that with Jackie Robinson. Right? Yes. Oh! I like it. Come up with some other 5-syllable athletes, okay? Where have you gone, Frank Mahavlich? There you go. Excellent. Just happened to be the right number of syllables. Joe, don't feel bad about it. Now I realize, going to be a heavy burden in that box. But Paul Simon, could have been just about anybody.
Jeb Bush. Hey, oh!
I want a cold beer and I want it colored green. It is St. Patrick's Day, so all things must be green. I'm gonna celebrate and put some green clothes on. I'm gonna look like a big stupid leprechaun. I'm gonna hang out at the bar and eat corned beef. Don't really like it, but I eat it 'cause it's cheap. And then I'll go downtown to watch the big parade. Everyone's happy, but no one marching is gay. I'm gonna keep on drinking beer that's colored green. I'll drink until the color green is what I'm getting. We are all Irish when St. Patrick's Day is here. So eat potatoes, hate the English, and drink beer. I wanna be a hurling green. Yeah, I'm gonna be a
20-1 at 560 WQAM. It's ironic that I should have played that right there because the 17th is coming very soon. It's only 8 days away, St. Patrick's Day. And in honor of that, starting tomorrow, we're doing a multi-part series on the great contributions of the Irish to American society. Starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow till about 30 seconds after the hour. Here's a mobile in North Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil.
I think that potato famine is what turned them around. Yes, sir.
How's it going?
Great.
Hey, what about good old Ted Williams?
What about what?
Ted Williams.
They had him on this morning. I'm going to tell you, they had him propped up in a chair. No, seriously, he looked like Don Imus with a fat head. I mean, a dead man in a chair, slumped over. He can barely open his eyes, and it was one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
But I mean, player-wise, I mean, I was both.
Ted Williams was a greater player than Joe DiMaggio. So
that's what I thought.
There's any question of that, and you know something? He's going to die. You can see it in his face. In our lifetime, Ted Williams will die, and I guarantee you, there won't be 1% of the timidness about his passing that there is about Jolton Joe DiMaggio.
And I don't get it. I mean, I know he didn't win all the championships this other guy won, but I mean, he's
last man to hit 400
home runs. I mean,
right.
Oh my God, he was a great fielder.
Let me say it again, last guy to hit 400.
Oh yeah, big time.
Right.
That's what I just don't get it. I'd like to see what happens when either it's a bigger parade or he'll just go and they'll just close the.
Okay. Somebody picked up. Somebody had see that? Somebody had a thing on this guy's phone. Comunista. Better trace it. Here's Deerfield. Hello.
Hello.
That was Southern Bell, by the way. Did you notice that? That was Bell South. They've been interfering with the phones on this show for years. I'm going to sue Larry Mixon. Yes, sir.
Tommy Pop, man.
What is it?
The Tommy Platt. I'm telling you. Neil, I'm fired up and pissed off.
About what?
About they're cutting your show again this year for baseball?
Yeah.
For nondescript Who cares
for an
about the
exhibition
Marlins?
game? I mean, it's bad enough we got the regular season games. I could understand why we'd have to carry those because we carry the game. But exhibition baseball in the middle of the daytime on the highest rated show on his radio station?
I'm fired up and pissed off.
Man, oh man, I'll tell you one thing, sir. Make no mistake about it.
Pissed off gets me fired up when I hear someone say that.
Oh, and one other thing.
Yes.
Jorge Rodriguez. I got to thank him. I got the over and under. I won. How many times he says... Oh, how many times he says... Whatever.
Okay. Whatever. We have an open line in the Broward. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. He's got the overs and unders. He just can't figure out what it is he's got it on. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello?
Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's wrong with that guy that keeps calling all pissed off? That guy needs to grow up.
Which guy is that?
The one that...
That faggot before, the one with his
the one
about the
that's
gay
mad.
hockey show, yeah.
Yeah, that guy's probably still
He was a high school wrestler. He was a high school wrestler. He doesn't like being outed on the show, I guess.
He's a child, or he still collects baseball cards, I think.
Right, that's right. That's why he calls the worst team. He's one of those sports nerds.
But if I could change the subject slightly.
Please.
From totalitarian
From
government.
Cubans and Joe DiMaggio, yes.
To totalitarian governments here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, in Joe DiMaggio's state of New York, have you heard what Giuliani's doing?
Oh, yeah, death penalty for jaywalkers in New York now. Rudy Giuliani wants it.
Yeah, they'll take your car, even if you're a first-time DUI offender.
Right.
And even, I read in Time Magazine, I read a quote, even if you get acquitted, and you don't get convicted,
yeah,
they can still take your car.
Right.
And I asked him about that, and Giuliani's quote was, well, those are cases where the guy was really guilty, but there just wasn't enough evidence. So how do you like that?
I don't. That's why I don't live in New York.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Rudy Giuliani for president, not. And they like that, though. A lot of the New Yorkers that are down here, the ones that still live there, they're not too crazy about him, but the ones down here, oh, yeah, he's a good guy, really cleaned up the city. Too much, okay? Too much. Anybody with a brain, they like a little bit of that spice the way the city used to be. You know what I'm talking about? A little bit of sleaze is good. That's what Al Goldstein says. But this guy, he wants it to be like too antiseptic. Disney World. If they want to go to Disney World, they'll go to Orlando. If they want to go a little excitement, a little flash, they'll go to New York to flash it. Here's a lady in Hialeah. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, Neil. Can you hear me?
I hear you like you're right next door.
My husband loves you, and he's a fraidy cat.
Why is he a pussy? Your husband
he's
is a pussy?
and he doesn't want to call.
Oh, my God.
I'm calling for him. He wants to request puts the lotion in the basket.
Yeah.
Okay?
He puts the lotion in the basket.
There you go. Tell him to butch up.
Thank.
Okay. What time are we getting out of here? Very soon, by the way. We got that baseball game. Anybody psyched up about the game?
No.
Anybody care at all? 40 now. Oh, 40. Oh. Get it right there, man. We don't want to step on Boog Shambi. Although, how could you tell? Boy, is he gigantic. I'm begging him. I don't know what to say. I don't know what words to use to convince this guy he's got to lose weight. Now, look at that scale, by the way. Just barely over 200. Now, that's the lowest I've been since I've worked on this station. I've been big and fat. I've been eating that fish food. I've been eating all this bad stuff, candy, crap, made myself sick. You can't look anywhere else. Just look yourself in the mirror. Forget about the rash. Look at yourself in the mirror, you big fat people like myself. You've got to stop with the fat. Enough with the goddamn fat, because the fat people are the goddamn dead people. Look at Joe DiMaggio. Even with lung cancer, was he ever fat?
No.
That's why he made it till 84. Winston Churchill, well, that's a bad example. George Burns. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Great.
Okay. Remember what happened years ago when those planes shot down in international water?
Yes.
Brothers to the rescue?
Yes.
And we're going to go down there and play a baseball game against that asshole?
What does that have to do with it? What does that have to do with it?
It's like me killing your son, and then I invite you to play baseball tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, I lost a good friend of mine.
How about the Pope?
Forget about the Pope.
Oh, I see. You're so convenient. You get upset about a stupid baseball game, but the Pope, who's supposed to be the biggest religious leader in the world, he goes over there, embraces this bearded son of a bitch, and forget about it. You don't want to talk about that. Why? Because you're embarrassed about it. That's why.
Listen, Neil, one of those pilots was a good friend of mine.
I understand that, but you're not having a conversation.
Forget about the Pope. I'm not a
Okay,
Catholic.
I'll forget about the Pope. Thank you. See? He don't want to talk about it. Very inconsistent. If you're gonna stand on principle or what you pretend is gonna be principle, and you're all bent out of shape about whatever it is, you can't do it selectively, okay? Either you believe in it or you don't, not just when it's convenient. Not just when there might be some credibility, even though there's probably not. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello?
Neil.
Yes, sir.
And here's to you, Dan Marino. Don't you know the Dolphins?
That's not enough syllables.
Jimmy.
Not enough syllables. You lose. Sorry. Dan Marino. 4 syllables. You got to have 5. 5. Jackie Robinson. I mean, just that. It fits in like a glove. Frank Mahavlich. Yeah. There you go. I mean, you could say, here's to you, Borja Salaming. It's not enough syllables. Here's a lady in Boca. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you play a hockey song for the big game tonight?
This isn't a lady. This is some little kid. Who put you on the phone, little kid?
Huh?
What do you want?
Can you play a hockey song for the big game tonight?
What hockey song?
Just anyone.
You mean like Stompin' Tom, that stupid hockey song? That idiotic piece of crap? Biggest game of the year tonight, boys and girls. Bruins in the...
Hello out there. We're on the air. It's hockey night tonight.
Stomped on and on.
Tension goes, the whistle blows.
Panthers and the Bruins, we got it for you, baby. Pre-game 6:30. 7 o'clock the game. We'll find out who the real men are tonight, Dan. 7 o'clock at the Fleet Enema Center in Boston. Now, there is a game we can relate to. This bogus baseball game, forget it.
Game you can name.
Oh, right.
And the best game you can name is a good old hockey game. Second period, where players dash with skates of flash. The home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees. They travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name.
Kill us all. Come on. Oh, Stompin' Tom. Won't see him no more. All right, well, what a day today. It's a short show, but look at this. We solved the problem. We decided, Joe DiMaggio, if you're a real old fart, he was very significant for you in your life. We send along our condolences to you. If the Cuba, we don't care about the baseball game in Cuba. We don't give a crap the Orioles. So we're just, we just won't support the Orioles anymore. Did we support the Orioles before?
No.
And guess what? We don't support them anymore. So how the hell do you like that?